Welcome, everyone, to our newest episode of Simps and Stones. On here, we have returning guest, Sebas. Hey, what's up, dude?
So, dude, how's it going?
Yeah, you're here on the New Year's special stream with like everyone from the studio, and you had to leave early, and you said that you'd love to be back on. So I was like, heck yeah,
Exactly.
we're gonna get you on. So welcome. And
Tight.
do you want to introduce yourself? Explain what you do and who you're related to.
I do nothing, and I just play video games. I'm basically the carry.
Not the stream.
I'm basically the carry.
That's true. I
don't
don't know.
know.
Even when I'm doing ass.
I don't know.
I'm still the
feel
carry.
Just in Valorant, we were playing COD. I was carrying all the time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think we have video footage of that.
I
No,
would-
but
I would.
I don't know. Sebas, you're Memo's brother, right? So that's the
Little
only
brother.
reason why you're on here. No, I'm just kidding.
His favorite sibling. Basically,
You're
let's be
like-
honest.
You're like the Hunter Biden of our group, because that's the
Exactly.
only...
I'm the black sheep of the
Better
family.
than being the Bo Biden.
What was up?
That was a bad joke. Let's move on.
Well,
even your mic was like, that's a bad joke.
I
You
know,
cut
Yeah,
him off
no.
like, shut you
completely.
off. It's
I made a Bo Biden joke. Let's move on.
your microphone is
Biden.
turning into Twitter. It's just like blocking you off whenever you say something wrong.
Yeah. And I'm Memo. You didn't even introduce me, asshole.
Who cares about Memo? Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome to the newest titular episode of Simps and
Titular.
Stones. That's my new favorite word, and then not just because it has the word tit in it, but maybe that's why it's my new favorite word. But yeah, I don't
Oh
know.
my
That
God.
probably wasn't
That
the.
was so bright.
That probably wasn't. Oh, good lord, what happened?
Dude, I have no idea.
That's probably not at all the proper use of the word titular, but it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Oh, I'm fact checking, right? Let me check out the definition
Yeah.
for titular.
That's what I was doing,
okay.
actually.
So
It actually is spelled titular, like tit.
yeah, it totally is.
Holding or constituting a purely
It's fine.
formal
It's
position.
fine. He's right. He's right. I fact checked.
Okay, and what did the facts say?
Because I was reading the definition, and it was one of those confusing Google definitions.
Oh.
It's
Yeah, it really was.
But-
It brought up like the queen and shit.
I didn't feel like it was that
Brought up the
important until like, yeah. Let's just move on.
Well,
It's like when you ever quote something and it's like the word is like something and it's like of doing something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I fucking hate that
I always
shit.
thought that was fucking stupid. I hated that shit. It just like redirects you to another word.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
like,
it's
what the
usually
fuck?
like if you have like a tense in the word, so if you have like an ing or like an ed or something.
Like
at the end of
constituting of, like to constitute.
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
Titulating. To titulate.
to titulate, yeah.
Yeah.
You said it.
Oh,
You said it
titulate.
talked about the queen or
Select
something.
it.
Huh?
Yeah, the sentence they use, like the example,
It talks about the queen. Well,
is like
Yeah.
the queen is the titular head of the Church of England.
queens
one
typically
way to
have
call her.
tits, so I would say.
You
Typically,
mean the baby
typically,
eater?
not
The baby
always.
eater?
But
The baby.
But yeah,
She's
so
babies.
welcome
That's what she-
everyone.
that's
Thanks
what
for
she
coming on,
does.
Sebas. I
Demonic
think
shit.
this will be a very interesting episode. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening in our world today,
Yes. Yes.
and so we're gonna talk about some of that stuff today. We have Memo fact checking because I know we get things wrong all the time. We're probably wrong 90% of the time anyway. So hopefully nobody uses this as like, I don't know, as
Their
like
source.
yeah, please don't. So.
According to this, the
You're
queen
wrong,
had
Nick, about what you just said.
children at one point.
The queen had what?
Children at one point.
Isn't it that hairy guy?
Yeah.
Isn't that what makes him a prince? Like in the.
Huh.
or am
One
I-
of the most bizarre powers the queen holds, she can steal their children.
Oh.
Anyways, move on.
That makes
Dude,
sense.
Sex Pistols, dude. God save the
Sorry.
queen.
But yeah,
That's what
so
it makes you
let me just say right off the bat for anyone watching the video, my webcam is kind of like messed up, so it's going to be like flickering in and out. So everything's fine. I'm aware of it. I might just have to get another webcam. It just is what it is. We'll have to deal with it. Until now, if you're an audio listener, then you just lucked out. You just get to listen to our beautiful voices.
Exactly.
So
Bathe in it.
anything you want to say, Sebas? Anything interesting happened to you this week, or do you want to jump into topics?
Most interesting that has ever happened to me in my life. I dislocated a finger, man.
Oh, I thought
She
you were
was
going
so
to say
sick.
how you gave everyone COVID, but
That wasn't me. It was my older brother. But whatever.
It was
We're not gonna
Memo.
talk
Yeah.
about semantics. But look at this shit, man. Oh, compared to this
Oh, is it
one.
back? Oh, why is
Yeah,
your,
like it's
why
back.
is your
like
nail
it's
black?
back.
No, shit.
Oh, I painted it.
Oh,
my God, I painted it.
okay.
Oh my God.
I thought that was
It's 'cause-
because of your injury.
No, these two were taped together. So then I was like, fuck it, let's paint them black. Some symbolism type shit.
It
But look
still
at
look,
it,
it still looks kind of
right,
weird.
Oh yeah,
right, right here, like right here.
it's all fat and weird.
There's like a bone kind of sticking out
Yeah, you
now.
should probably go to the doctor and get that checked out.
Nah, dude, I'm fine.
There was
It
one time
works.
we were playing Valorant and like Sebas got mad and he just slammed his hands against the
Oh, I
table
slammed the
like
table.
hard. Like I heard it through the mic and everything. And then afterwards he's just like, ouch, because I guess you hit your hand so hard against the table.
Dude, I really think I have like nerve damage in this finger now.
Oh, nice.
Or some shit. Is there nerves in your fingers? There's
Yeah,
nerves.
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Child abuse do that to you, bro.
I know. Call CPS. No, we don't. But-
Don't call.
Don't call-
He's 17. He only has a year left.
Yeah,
yeah, it's fine.
that's fine.
Like 3 months left, actually. Holy fuck.
Okay.
Birthdays.
That just made everybody just like, what? Yeah, that my dad broke his finger. So
Oh yeah.
that sounds even worse.
Yeah, I
He
know,
broke
that
his
does sound
finger
worse.
playing football.
Trying to prove his masculinity over me.
That
so
sounds
no,
even
no.
worse. He broke his
Yeah.
fingers trying to prove his masculinity.
It was during a
Just-
football game.
Just to fact check
he-
this, they're playing
He was
football.
complaining. Yes, he was complaining about me throwing it hard. So then I'm the one that ended up with a broken pinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well.
is weird. But I really think it was like some luck thing. Because I've hit the ball like that many times before.
Luck.
Why don't you?
Is it luck? Or some like different like
It's
You
like
know?
a chance. Yeah.
Well,
like
you
a,
know,
like a just a weird chance.
why
You
not
just do what I do.
Sebas?
Just bat the football down.
Yeah.
That's what I did though, technically. And my finger still was kind of like. I really think now that I have like trauma playing football. Like I feel weird when I think about playing football. I don't know.
Like you don't want
It's
to
really-
play anymore.
The CPS agent is just writing it down.
I have PTSD over football right now.
Gosh, your dad gave you.
But I want to play it though. I
your
want to.
dad gave you PTSD trying to prove his masculinity. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, everybody has trauma one way or another. Don't make fun of me for mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into our first topic before Memo's family gets in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I had something important to say.
Oh, let's see. What do you guys say?
I had
Say it, man.
COVID.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that and how you almost gave it
Yeah.
to me?
You know, we could.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to say
What was
about it,
it, what was
honestly.
it like?
Having COVID?
You're fine now,
Yeah,
right?
your experience.
Yeah, I'm chilling now, I guess.
Were you worried at all when like you first got your positive results?
Worried?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I was just more like, hey, I'm feel hot. What the fuck? Like that was my first
Yeah.
thought process. No, I actually got COVID and the vaccine, so
That yeah.
double immune
Mhm.
now. So,
Double immune.
but no, I don't know. It was a weird experience. Honestly, I can't really even place it. It just came and went.
Yeah.
It sucked, but it just like
Yeah.
came and went.
So like
Yeah, it felt like forever, but it felt like super short. It was a really weird thing.
So I had went to your house, and this was like the first time we saw each other in like months, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I went over. You're in town, so I was like, oh, want to go hang out with Memo, and, you know, or I didn't know because at the time you're like, hey, you know, there might be some like shenanigans going on. So I was like, like we'll see, like. So, but you know, I got there and because I got you a present. And I was like, oh, you know, I'll just like drop it off in his mailbox if anything, if there's any like shenanigans with COVID. But like we didn't know for sure, so you know, and like now you still invited me in, and I went in, which was really dumb. And you know, I played your Oculus and everything.
You put that shit on your head, man.
I
Everybody was
know.
sweating all over it.
Yeah, and then I ate with you guys and stuff. It was
How was the food though? Big-
oh, it was
come on.
delicious. What were they called? Tripas? They were
Deep
awesome.
eyes, yeah.
Yeah, delicious. And
Yeah, well, it was confusing because I had allergies,
uh-huh.
so I hadn't even felt sick yet, really.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until it wasn't really until I got back to Austin that I started to feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I felt weird in Del Rio, but it wasn't until I came back to Austin that
Yeah.
I started to feel terrible.
So we're just like, oh, those allergies or whatever. But so I had COVID before, and like it was bad and like everything. So, but you know, I got over it and everything's fine. And like, so when I went over, I'm like, there's like a 100%. Like the virus got in me again for sure. But
You cut off
oh, did I really?
Yeah, I was like,
What was the last thing you heard?
something about percent.
I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay. No, like
I'm playing, I'm playing.
there's like a 100% chance that like I came in like some type of contact of because I played your Oculus, we ate together and stuff, but I
Yeah.
came back negative, and so I don't know if
My
that's just
sister-in-law
because.
came back negative too.
Yeah.
And
So
she lives with the guy.
And she lives with the main source.
yeah, and I don't know if that's just because like my immune system was there, or I just got really lucky, or I don't know. So, but it was an interesting experience. My
Yeah.
parents had me locked in my room for like a week, and so
It could be that I just didn't have it then.
yeah, it could be, but
It's so weird, man. The worst I've had so far is just like a stuffy nose, and then my head would sometimes get hot.
mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I don't really cough. My mouth was dry, but that's because I haven't drank anything really. Like, I haven't drank no water today, so it's like,
I have it. It can be easily fixed.
Yeah.
I drink this Red Bull. That shit's gone already.
I remember I'd wake up early, or I'd wake up and I'd be like, dude, my head hurts like so bad. And then I'd drink coffee and I was fine. I was like, oh, it's just caffeine withdrawal. So I don't know. COVID's weird. Every time like my parents feel sick, like throughout this whole year, they're just like always like, it's COVID or something. But it's like, it's just like an allergy or something. So
Yeah.
it's weird. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
weird.
and I would feel better, and then in the night I'd feel like shit.
Yeah. It's a roller coaster
So.
of just stuff.
Dude. Right now, Nick, your webcam like flashed for me,
Yeah.
and I thought I saw the Soviet Union flag, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Is this propaganda? What the fuck
don't
am I
know.
watching?"
There's
I'm
weird images going on your stream, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why.
Oh my God, Nick's a spy.
I don't know why my webcam's doing that. I swear I'm not trying to send like subliminal messages or something.
I'll be just
it's
like-
just it just is what it is. I don't know
It's
what's
like a
going
Clockwork
on.
Orange. Just my eyes
Yeah,
being pulled.
I know. I'm trying to control you guys, but it's okay. No, that's what the vaccine is for. To have the government control us.
I will say from my experience with COVID, I think the most thing that I was kind of amazed by was just how undeveloped, not prepared, how all over the place everything is still.
Incompetent, I would say.
Yeah. Like everything.
So like trying to get tested, at least here in my like small town. It's not even that small. It's like 40,000 people. Like it's not a small town, But like trying to get tested was such a pain. I could totally see why some people are just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not even gonna bother because it's such a pain. You have to like make an appointment. Like you can't just go, and then trying to find a place that'll do it here is like insane. Like most places will only see if you have symptoms. So
Oh yeah, yeah, nothing. Like, don't
yeah,
even
no,
worry
I,
about it.
I had nothing. So nobody really wants to see me, and the only place that would see me was closed for like 2 days because of the holidays, and also we had like really bad weather here, and it was like, oh gosh. And then when I finally went there, it's like this kiosk, right? And it's like the way they do it like sucks, because I thought it was like a drive-through, because that's how they like kind of claim it to be. Like you just go, then you stay in your car, and they give you your test or whatever, right? But that's not what they did. You had to like get off and like go to like this booth, right? So like, and like you're standing next to all these people that are like super sick. Like you could tell like they're coughing and like they like sound like real like not good, and they're sneezing everywhere and they're like sniffling the whole time. And it's just like, gosh, this is not like, what if I'm fine? I have no symptoms and I'm just standing next to all these people. And then you go up to like this booth, right? And then they tell you to like cough. So they're like, all these sick people are staying in the same spot, coughing everywhere. And then, because that's part of the thing, like that's part of the test. You have to cough and then like swab the inside of your mouth. So I was like, gosh, everyone's just standing where like people have been coughing. It's like, this is just not. This is not the way.
Yeah.
They probably should have like held it out like in an open field rather than like a Bell Mattress parking lot or some shit.
Yeah, they just have it in a parking lot area. I don't know. It's just it's not great.
That's how I do it at work. Same. Well, they're changing now, but that's how they usually do it. Here in Austin, when I went to the drive-throughs, it's actually like a legit drive-through.
Oh, see, like that. Like
you go through,
your car
you go
would have
through,
been
like,
there.
you go through like a driving course basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just going through like these random cones and like using your QR code, and there's nurses everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But we're told different things about, right, Memo? Like you're told that it was like as soon as you start feeling better, then you're fine to like go back to work and stuff or something like that.
I was told different things by different doctors.
Okay, what were you told?
At one point, I was told that I am quarantined for 10 days from when my symptoms began.
Okay.
Second doctor told me I was quarantined from when I took my test.
Uh-huh.
Third doctor told me that I was quarantined from when I got my results. and then they all gave me 10 to 14 days, right? And then one was like, oh, you have to be completely symptom free. And then another doctor was like, no, you still have a cough. I can't release you. And I was like, well, this other doctor wants to release me. And they're like, well, he's stupid. And I was like, well, I was like,
Not every person's gonna go to you and him. Like some people are just gonna
yeah.
go to him. Yeah.
So
And
what did you do?
I went
Like,
with my regular doctor's opinion, which he ended up just erring on the safe side and keeping me longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm fine with this. But then I don't know if I should say this. I got really weird messages from work, which made it sound like a doctor's clearance wasn't necessary to come back,
Uh-huh.
which just baffled me. So I'm not entirely. I don't know. It was all very confusing, honestly.
Yeah.
The whole system, top to down, was just a mess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to be like contacted by somebody either.
Mhm.
So like I know like contact tracing the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be contacted by somebody or
Yeah.
that's a thing people do. I never got contacted. Nobody in my family got contacted.
Mhm.
Besides my parents getting served, that was about the only thing.
Yeah.
when did they get served?
I don't know how legal that is, but
If you go out well tested positive for COVID, then you could be prosecuted, like with like a strong misdemeanor and stuff by the county.
I live in this house. I don't remember them leaving at all.
that's a Del Real thing.
Yeah. It's a
I don't know how many other counties do it, but
yeah.
in Austin, I never got served.
Yeah. I don't
It's
don't
fucking
know.
massive over there too.
I don't know how legal it is either. I don't know. I mean, I doubt anyone's gonna hire a lawyer to try to fight it or whatever. So that's probably why they're doing it. But like,
Yeah. Well, there's that story that just came out. You know that story?
yeah, I was gonna talk about that right now. So, but first, I wanted to talk about like my test results. So I came back negative, right? But it took 5 days. I went and tested on a Sunday, and then I got my results on a Friday. It took 5 days for me to get my results, and I think that might just be a small town thing, but we're not a small town. We have 45,000 people here, and it was just like it was ridiculous. It was like so long. Like by the time I got my results, it had already been like 2 weeks since I had seen Memo already anyway. So it was like great, like like you guys took forever on my results, and now I'm gonna have to wait another 10 days probably from when I got my results. Because what they had told me was it was gonna be 10 days from my results, which I guess makes sense, but yeah, I don't know. It was just
Well, see, like, and it becomes even more weird whenever you like have when you're going to work and stuff, and work's kind of berating you, and they're like, "Hey, when are you going to come back? You're
Yeah.
not positive, so technically you can come back." And you're like, "Well, I feel bad," and they're like, "Well, you."
And,
It's like,
but you also like that was like your bosses saying that, right? But like your like coworkers that actually work with you were weird with you getting back, I think.
Yeah, they were like, most of them were texting me. Were like, "Hey, take as much time as you need." Like the worst thing for you to do is like come over here and give it to us, and then I take it home and give it to my wife, and she dies.
Yeah.
Where like it. I don't want to get too much into it. It's kind of like a weird topic, but yeah, there's very different. And my biggest thing is just how all over the place everything was.
Yeah.
So my employer will say something different than somebody else's employer.
Yeah.
I've heard of people from like Target getting fired.
Yeah.
Because their brother got COVID and they were waiting for the results, and they were like, "Well, you have to come to work," and they're like, "I don't want to spread it."
Yeah.
And then you get fired.
Yeah. We had a I don't know if our friend would be comfortable with us saying this, but we had a friend that like started a brand new job, but he got COVID, and they decided not to. They like fired him, I guess, or they just like decided not to continue with him in his training.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just so weird to me. Like, it's so baffling that people are like that. But anyway, so there's a story out of my local town. So she, you might have to fact check this, Memo, because I don't know everything exactly. But she tested positive for COVID, but, and I don't know why. I don't know why they did this, but in San Antonio, which is about 2 hours away from us, they had like a concert or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to that knowing that she was positive. And I think I saw pictures of the concert, and it's like everyone's tightly packed and everything, and it's just like good. like she did something really bad. So she's getting prosecuted and stuff. And apparently, our county judge has said that he's gonna release her name and stuff because they've been keeping like all that quiet. And yeah, they're gonna release her name. And I'm like, gosh, I don't know if you could release her name, but she's
Well, he
so
can release
stupid.
it after everything's done, I think.
Yeah, she's so stupid. I mean,
That's fucking terrifying.
That's so dumb.
Like, yeah, it's fucking stupid that she did that, but it's fucking terrifying still. Like, everyone in town is gonna know this story, and that it's me.
Yeah.
It's really are a small town. It's like 45,000, but to me, it doesn't feel that way because I feel like I know a lot of people.
Maybe.
At least I know of a lot of people.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't know. It's just like, still like,
Yeah.
she's so stupid. Like, that's so stupid, dude. Like, why would you do that? And I don't know.
That's so crazy that there's concerts going on.
Yeah, what is
Who
that?
who was it for?
I don't know.
If it's some country singer, holy fuck, you deserve everything.
It's the hell's his name? I
It was,
just saw it right now.
it was for the Doors, Sebas. Oh my gosh, it was.
For
the
it
Doors.
actually?
No, I'm just kidding.
Dude,
That's
no,
Sebas'
there's actually like
current favorite
tribute.
band.
There's actually like tribute bands out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that should be best for everything. A Cody
No.
Johnson concert.
Oh, he's a country singer. I know who he is.
Oh, well then you deserve everything.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No.
So like, but
I'm
like,
gonna get into the Doors.
that's like the thing though, is that she knowingly went.
and she took Snapchat pictures of with her mask on her wrist.
Oof.
So there's like evidence.
Yes, there's evidence that she willingly posted it online.
So she's fucked.
She's about to get
ultimately.
canceled, dude.
Well,
so hard.
I don't know if she's fucked. I don't know what the rules are or the laws, per more a better word.
Well, not even like fucked like that.
I know,
I mean like fucked like in, I guess, reputation.
Yeah, I think
Or
she's gonna be
what?
canceled, dude. I think she's gonna be so canceled so hard. Is she like a
I'm
high
su-
school kid or something?
I don't
we know
think so.
Who she is? No.
We don't know who she is.
Is she a
not
high
yet.
school kid?
I was trying to see how old she is, but I don't think it says on here.
Okay.
Probably some white girl.
But it seems like she's older, at least like
Complected.
18, 19.
Mm.
But maybe I just read COVID-19 and just thought that it was her age.
Remember at like the
There's
beginning of
18 other
COVID,
variations.
it was like
What?
because I feel like there was a switch where like like all the mask, like all the anti-mask people, like you just pick, like you picture like an old like an old like Trump supporter type,
Old
like,
geezer.
yeah, white person or something like that. You know, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Like you think anti-maskers, but remember at the beginning of this, it was like young kids because it like started around spring break, and there's that big, I don't know if it was like ABC or something. They did like a report in Florida, and they were like showing the beaches like jam packed, and there were like all these college kids, and then like the famous guy was like that guy that turned out to be like a rapper on SoundCloud, and he was like this white guy with his hat backwards saying that he doesn't care about COVID and stuff. And do you remember all that?
Yeah. It's still going on.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird how like it started that way and then it switched to that, and now we're getting stories about kids and stuff like that. I don't know, and I feel like I see like on social media like all these pictures of like bars like jam packed and stuff. And
Yeah. I find it weird how anti people are about masks.
yeah,
You know, like it's not like it's a really odd thing where they're thinking they're equating a law got passed to wear your mask versus just like, hey, you should wear your mask because it's like just being courteous to other people in case
Yeah.
you're spreading the disease, right? And I don't know, I don't understand how that began. Was it Trump that did that, or I can't?
no idea. I have no idea how that started. I
Yeah.
guess it was just like, I don't know. I mean, it
Such
seems like
conspiracies.
it's just like I'll like
Sorry, I
I
remember.
don't know why anyone's anti anything. Like,
Have you seen the TikTok of the girl? She like has a mask and she cuts it and she pulls a chip out from inside and she's like, "This is what's in the mask."
no, I saw
I
the
haven't
one
seen that.
though of like
I did. I
of
remember.
like it's like a white lady, and she's like standing next to a kid who's wearing a mask, and she like takes off the mask and the kid's mouth is taped, and she's like, you don't know what a mask is hiding. And it's supposed to be like a statement on like child abuse or something. I don't know, it was like this weird TikTok
Or-
thing.
So like the other variations of masks, like people will like put like two together, but they'll open the slit
Yeah.
so they can eat with the mask on.
Yeah, or like
And it's like, what are
put
you
a
doing?
straw in it or something. Yeah, it's
Or like when they wear it like over under the nose.
It's super weird. The whole situation's weird. I think you kind of learned how.
How
I don't
dumb
know. I mean, it's a
people
weird.
are.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
And inconsiderate.
I don't know, because to be fair, um, like technically, if we were being like extremely safe, I should have never gone home.
Yeah.
You know. Now, granted, that's not on the same level as like going to a concert when you have
And to be
COVID or
fair,
anything.
before you went home, you got like tested and you tested negative,
Yes.
right?
Twice? Was it you that tested
No,
twice or that?
I tested negative once. My older brother
Oh,
tested
okay.
negative twice.
Yeah.
Both were false negatives.
Yeah. So
How does that work though? False negatives.
You just took it too early, or you didn't have it and then you caught it later. Either one
Yeah.
could be true. Who knows? Really, honestly.
Gotcha.
But like before that, I hadn't gone out really. The most I did was the Winter Palooza,
yeah.
and that was like two of us in a room. And
I
besides that, we weren't like going to like a concert or anything.
I get bothered because I've had like, well, I don't know. I don't know about this, but like I feel like I've been pretty safe. Like I don't leave my house too often or anything like that. I was going to the gym like in the summer, but I stopped in like August, September. So because like I don't know, things like at the time like from like August to September to like maybe even mid-October, it was like the numbers were like pretty low. Like it seemed like we had it under control. But then like I stopped because it was like, oh, there's gonna be a skyrocket again, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to get it again, so I'm gonna stop going. So I stopped going. But like I feel like I know so many people that just don't care and that are always out and that are always doing stuff, and then they have like they don't even have any scares, like nothing's happened to them, like not like
Yeah.
they're so like they're fine. Like I know people that have like traveling all over the place, and like I tell them shit, but like they don't
Dude.
care. And like
Somehow the audacity to like post on Twitter and
oh my
stuff like, "Hey,
gosh,
what are y'all
it's
doing going out and stuff when they're going out?"
oh man, that's so annoying because they'll like retweet like, oh, I hate anti-maskers, or oh, I hate how people are going out, and they're just like always out, and it's like, what are you
I
doing?
hate it. I hate it whenever
And then
someone gets
nothing
it.
happens to them either. Like I think that's the deciding thing. Like that's what like
Yeah.
gets me super angry because it's like,
Dude, I hate it whenever it's like someone's like saying like they're just going out all over places,
Uh-huh.
and then as soon as they get it, they're fucking scared.
yeah.
Like, what are you like? You're going out. You're putting yourself in that like line of risk.
So
Yeah.
And then
I'm-
if you get the fucking biting your ass, you're just like,
I
fuck.
do know someone that were like they were like constantly going out like all the time, and I saw it all over Snapchat, and I was like, oh gosh, you're gonna pay a price, and nothing happened, and then finally they got it like really bad, and I was like, oof, well, sucks
See,
for
they
you.
might
And then
just continue
after
to-
that, they're like constantly talking about like, oh, the dangers of going out and stuff like that, and I was like, oh well, glad you
Yeah.
learned your lesson, but
Well, there's a weird thing with like there's two different things going on. I think there's the people who just don't understand, like they just don't think about it.
mhm.
You know, it's like a distant world, it's a distant thing. It's never gonna happen to them. You know, they're just
Yeah.
enjoying their days.
They're
And then
the
there's
main
the other
characters.
people who think it's not that of an important deal.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. Actually, probably fact check this. I don't remember where we're at right now for the U.S.
We're
For
pretty fucking
COVID.
high up there.
Last
Aren't we,
time I
like, the
looked,
most?
last time I looked, it was like it was like 3,000 people a day were
Well, see-
dying, and that
Yeah,
was
see,
like
like
a few
the-
weeks ago.
See, like the death thing is probably what. So there's 31,000 deaths,
Uh-huh.
right? And then so you'll hear that, and the way some people will process this would be like in a percentage,
Uh-huh.
and a percentage of the U.S. population. That's a super small percentage,
Yeah.
right? And people will hear that and they'll think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You know,
Yeah.
you had that whole like flu kills more people than COVID for a
Yeah.
while.
Dude, it's like saying like 1% of the world is like not that much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the issue with. I took a psych class for stats,
Uh-huh.
and one of the main things was about how like people take these numbers and they forget that there's actual people behind them,
Yeah.
and then they start thinking that they're Superman and they'll never be affected by it.
Yeah.
Just another statistic.
But I don't know. Was this one of your topics, COVID?
No, but I think this is interesting. I think that has been like the one eye-opening thing about all this is just like how much our education system sucks, because it's just like nobody knows how anything works. Like nobody knows how like our medicine works. Nobody knows how like our elections work.
The
Nobody
law
knows how
system.
and that's all like super basic stuff. I feel like, especially like when it comes to like our elections and like our and how like the transfer of power works and all that. Like I don't know. And I saw this interview. Well, maybe I'll save this for later because I have the siege of the Capitol on there. Or unless you guys want to just jump into it without even spinning on
It's up
it.
to you guys.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
take it out the spin wheel.
So okay, so we'll talk about the siege of the Capitol. But I saw like someone that was there and he was interviewing people, right? And he was like asking about like the election and like the process and everything. And it's just like they just don't know how any of it works. They don't know what the House of Representatives are. They don't know what the Senate is. They don't know what the president does. They don't know how the judges work. They don't know like any of like our basic stuff like that. Like just like super basic. And it's like good, like that is such, I think that's such like an embarrassing thing and like a failure of our education system, because I don't think it's that hard to like know stuff like that. It's super easy, and I feel like we've been learning about that since elementary school and middle school, and I don't know, it's really annoying. But yeah, anyway, the siege on the Capitol happened.
Yeah.
When was it? That was last week, or when was it?
Yeah.
My
Dude,
dates are
honestly,
off.
didn't even know that shit was happening until like I saw a bunch of like streamers like Hassan and Destiny, like just
Mhm.
like talking about it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck is happening to our
it was
world?"
pretty crazy. It was 4 people died, right, Memo?
5.
5 people died. Okay, so there was the guy that got. There was the guy that There was the cop, right? Who
Just
he,
2 cops.
Who
that
had
died.
an unfriendly
well, there was
encounter
one
with a
cop
fire extinguisher.
that got beat in the face with a fire extinguisher. I think that's the most horrific death I've heard in a while. Like that's pretty gnarly. Like
Pretty fucking crazy, man.
yikes. And then there was the woman that got shot in the neck.
Mhm.
And then there was is
There
this
was-
true? I don't know if this is just like a Twitter thing, but is it true that there was a cop that accidentally shot himself in the balls with a taser and then he had a heart attack and died?
I have not found anything confirming that. But
Okay, because that's
I-
what I had heard.
why are you covering your laughs at us?
I'm not.
So that's, I mean, but that's just like a stupid Twitter take about like
I mean,
all
no,
these
it
people
sounds
that hate
absurd.
cops. So it's like,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then
even know
there's
where to
like
start with this. This is just like the most insane thing that I think has ever happened in our lifetime, at least. Like it's just so crazy.
see, look there was a. I'm sorry, no, sorry that there's an ad playing when I was trying to fact check. I'm sorry, y'all talk.
He has to pay like $1.99 to finish the article.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Sebas? How do you think this thing?
This whole thing,
Yeah.
like with the whole siege of the cap. Oh, I've so fucking. There's like there's role players there. From what I saw, there's like people in costumes and shit running
Yeah.
around with Confederate flags and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
they're like
it's
LARPing.
really awkward. Yeah, it's really fucking awkward, man.
Awkward.
That like they're doing that, and then I don't know. It's just so weird, man. And then okay, is it fair for people to like kind of say like, oh, because I don't really know anything about all this shit, but that's what I'm asking. Is it really fair for somebody to say like, well, where's all the violence whenever BLM was protesting?
What do you mean?
Is it fair to say that? Like whenever like people on Twitter were saying like, because you know how there's some people that are taking pictures with cops and stuff, because they're basically just all friends there.
Yeah.
Like if whenever someone says like they make a video where like there's like a cop pushing down a black guy
Yeah.
on the street of during the BLM protesting compared to them taking pictures
I
with
think
the
these
white
are
people there.
two totally separate events. I don't like this whole like comparing of the two. I think they're like so different. And
I will say something. Coming from a law enforcement department, right? Who usually has in the past dealt with incidents like this, specifically like the BLM stuff, right? I get that they're different in certain regards, but there is something to be said about the preparation for it.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit later, but as far as like just comparing the two events, I think that they're like two like totally. Well, I think what Sebas is trying to say is that like a lot of people on Twitter are saying that like, oh, the reason why things were different in this is because of race, and I just don't think that that's true at all. I think that like this is more of a sign of like cops being like totally and completely unprepared, and like
But
some.
like the question is, why are they unprepared?
Well, from what I understand, there was a few reasons why. Um, they were, they had like their funding cut, right? I think the mayor had like called or like had asked of them to like, or she had did something to like hold down the preparedness. Other
Mm.
than that, I mean, and then there was like a few things. I think the police chief was just like incompetent. I think he resigned already,
Yeah,
and
he did.
yeah,
Well, like
there's
it did cross my mind at one point where I was thinking, and granted, I've been guilty of this myself, where I'll hear like, hey, there's gonna be a bunch of right wingers coming to wherever, say downtown Austin, right?
mm-hmm,
I hear that, and my reaction automatically isn't, oh, there's gonna be a huge riot on our hands,
mm-hmm,
right? My reaction is, oh, there's gonna be a couple, for lack of a better term, a couple idiots screaming downtown about how the vaccine's gonna like Bill Gates and George Soros and all that crap, right?
yeah,
The votes are fraudulent.
Where when I hear like there's gonna be a BLM protest, there's the idea of like, oh, interstates are gonna get shut down. They're gonna walk in the streets,
For
or
sure,
there's gonna
some
be some
injuries.
shenanigans happening somewhere, and there's gonna be a scuffle, and there's a different. Before this,
mm-hmm.
there is a different.
Jesus Christ, that was a lot of shit. Holy fuck.
No, you're good. There was a different idea, and I think that might have had something to do with it. And I
Yeah,
don't think it's like necessarily a race thing, other than I guess you could say conservatives are probably more white than black.
mm-hmm,
I think most law enforcement is conservative,
yeah,
right? And I think when they heard, oh, there's going to be a protest here for the president, and it's going to be filled with like a bunch of back the blue individuals,
yeah,
and then there's people in the right who still don't want to believe that it happened because technically they're supposed to support police officers, not kill
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of like,
so
oh, it was Antifa that actually did this and not
yeah,
whatever, which is the most
which
ridiculous claim I've ever heard in my life. Which is so,
What was the claim?
it's so crazy, especially when you look at like, there's like people like Nick Fuentes there and like Baked Alaska and like all these like right wing guys from like
Twitch.
YouTube
Yeah.
and stuff there. Like I don't
So
know.
I think the preparation probably was a little bit lax because people just assumed there were just going to be a bunch of people yelling.
Yeah.
I don't think they really understood what was going to happen. And there's also like another thing, like the National Guard should have been there.
So I don't know if this is conspiracy theory, but apparently they're sort of thinking that like Trump called them off because he's like the only one that basically had the power to do that. So because they were called,
Well,
and
okay.
then they didn't get there, and or they're
That's
canceled.
That's possible.
So that's like a theory. I don't know if that's been confirmed or anything because they were called and then they were like, and then they were like dispatched like way later on, but they were like called like
Yeah.
relatively early, but like they never showed up and they don't really know why, but they have a feeling that Trump may have like called them off. But I don't know if that's true.
Because if the funding's cut and you don't have enough individuals, you call in another agency.
I don't know exactly if it's the funding that was cut. You would have to look that up but I know that there's a lot of questioning towards the mayor of Washington, who has in the past disparaged police really badly and has like not been super helpful to the department there, and that may have been a reason why the Capitol wasn't fully protected.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know if there's anything nefarious there. I mean, it could just be just a bunch of like incompetence or like what you said, which I think makes a lot of sense,
Yeah, and then the actual like response to it, there's like this idea where like protesters weren't like maced and
Or
beaten.
tear gassed and stuff.
A protester got shot,
Yeah. I know
or a
that's like
rioter,
the
whatever you
first
want to call them.
the first thing I thought, because I can't think of a single like BLM protester that was shot and killed. I mean, to be fair, I
Yeah.
can't even think of like a cop that was shot and killed. I know there was there was a Las Vegas police guy on the first night of George Floyd protest that was shot in the head in Las Vegas, and he's paralyzed. He's not dead, and that was horrible. But he's like the only one.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, you had like incidents. You got that guy that was pushed and he fell and he hit his head.
yeah,
Oh, the old man.
yeah.
Or like the kid that was like
Or
shot
like
under a
cops like
bridge
running over like
with the rubber
protesters
bullet.
with their cars and stuff.
Rubber bullets. That's another controversy that happened during protest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's all those things. But I wouldn't say that this was like
But-
they didn't like open doors for them or like, here, come on in and
Yeah.
usurp the government, you know?
Yeah, and this isn't like and like all that stuff happened over the course of like months of protesting and like violence and of cities like burning down. It's and like this like I mean 5 people died in one day. Like that's insane, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Surprised more people didn't die, honestly.
Me too. I don't know. I just always had this idea that if I were to like break into the Capitol and to like run to the chamber and stuff, that I would just be immediately killed. You
Yeah.
know? Like I don't know.
Just
It's
shot
just
on
like an
sight.
idea in my head, but I don't know. Apparently not. And like I don't necessarily blame the cops for not shooting more people, because I'm sure you've seen the video of like the black cop like running up the stairs
Yeah.
and being chased. It's just like, holy crap. Imagine facing a horde of zombies like that, and all you have is like your pistol with 12 bullets, you know, and then
You're
maybe
super
another
smart.
magazine. Like, what are you supposed to do?
He so like the mob was following him,
Uh-huh.
right? He led them away from like where a bunch of people were like
Oh, really? I
hovering.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so like if you look back at the video, there's like a moment where he like taps the guy.
Uh-huh.
So like they're up the stairs and he like pushes him a little bit, and it's like a, hey, put your attention towards me, because on the other side there was
Oh.
people hiding there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
and so he
shit,
makes
that's,
them call him.
that's
so-
actually amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say about the riots, honestly.
That hasn't already been said. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. What do you think about Trump being impeached for it?
Twice.
I mean, I'm not. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think he's actually be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just gonna stall it out. I told one of my coworkers, I was just like, honestly, if it was just me, I would just let him take the week,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then if you want to like go after him a little later afterwards for other charges, you know, have at it. He got very angry. He was
really?
extremely angry. Yeah, he was like, no, fuck him, convict him, put him in jail, all that good stuff. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, this is probably how most people feel, but I don't think anything's gonna come of it.
Yeah.
I really don't. Even if like Republicans are done with him, which I think they now are.
Mm-hmm.
I
Except for like
don't.
Ted Cruz and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's thinking about becoming president.
Blobfish.
Yeah.
That's where his mindset's at. He's like, I can't lose this vote in
Yeah.
2024.
24 against Kanye? No, he lost it.
So that's where Ted Cruz is at. But most of the Republicans are just done with it. I think this is probably the end for Trump
Yeah.
as far as his political career is concerned.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of weird. I think it kind of sucks actually that like, or no, I think the people that did this should be convicted and should go to jail. I mean, this is like so beyond the pale of anything that's okay or proper, and I think they're absolutely criminals. I mean, like people get like hung up on like, oh well, they're terrorists or whatever. Like I don't really care about all that. Like who cares? Just throw them in jail. But I do think it's weird how all these people are going to go to jail for it, right? And the FBI is investigating and everything. But like the people but they did this at the behest of someone else, for Trump, and it's like, oh, and I would venture to say that he's probably not. I think he's probably going to get away without going to jail. I don't think he's going to go to jail or anything like that. So I think that kind of sucks. Like the people
I've heard it compared to like, I mean, granted, there's a whole political aspect to it,
Mhm.
but I've heard it compared to like the Charles Manson thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like Charles Manson and stuff. But
I don't think Charles Manson should be in jail for
Yeah.
those murders.
He didn't kill
So-
anybody.
He didn't kill anybody.
yeah, he didn't. But
Well, no, wait, no, I'm lying. He killed somebody, didn't he? He didn't kill anybody that night.
I don't know. I don't know much
he-
about Charles Manson, honestly.
I only know like some of his like quotes. What is it? I'm nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy. He didn't kill anybody that night, but I think he killed somebody.
Is that what they charge him for?
No, they charged him for the
Those
murders for
those nights.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
what's her name? The actress.
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Roman Polanski.
I don't know. I mean, of course, Trump's not going to. I mean, Trump's not going to get in trouble. All the other Republican senators kind of edged it on. I think the interesting thing is going to be like, what if somebody inside had something to do with it?
Uh-huh.
So I've heard things of, and granted, this kind of conspiracy, but I saw a video of like a female basically giving orders to people and like telling them where like special places were at in the Capitol.
Yeah.
And I've heard of that. I've heard there's like been planning behind it. I've heard there's been some communication with people inside the actual house.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how accurate that is. You know, it could just be like some rogue guy who was like really into the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
But I find that interesting. You know,
Mhm.
so they're more likely to get charged with
Dude.
something. Go to
I never really understood what QAnon was until like a couple of days ago. And now that I understand it, I make jokes about it.
I don't know what QAnon is. I know I've had it explained to me before, but I'm just like I have no idea what it means, or I don't know.
Well, QAnon is a conspiracy theory that Trump is like the warrior of the right, or like the warrior of the people, and he's fighting all the evil liberals who like to eat children and have prostitution rings and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he like posts on like message board as QAnon. He's like leaving little tips for when he takes over the world and saves us from everything.
Interesting.
He's a revolutionary.
Like, it's a little bit more than that, but that's like the basic gist of QAnon.
There's a bunch of conspiracy theories that are like, oh, Trump, Daddy Trump.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Save me.
It's a mess. It really sucks. I don't know. It's just a mess.
It's fucking crazy.
So stupid.
Yeah.
What other countries think about us?
They've laughed at us for like a while now, though.
Yeah.
I think there's like this idea that America's like
Like
the best in the world, and I don't think people really see us that way in a while.
And I also think there's like an idea that like America's like the worst and Europe is like so much better and stuff like that. But I feel like Europe goes through like all this too. I mean, France just had like a massive protest because of like police surveillance. So like you're not allowed to record police officers in France anymore. And then they had like these massive protests because of that too.
That's so awkward. It's like you can't record us.
So it's like, I mean, they have, everyone there has like their own issues
Dude.
too. You can't romanticize them.
This is not dealing with what we're talking about. But when I'm old and shit, I want to live in like a cottage place where like the dude from Inglourious Bastards in the beginning scene, like something like that. I want to live there.
What?
And then talk about the siege of the Capitol, huh? Talk about I was
talk
alive when
survived
that
Corona.
happened.
I was around by people with Corona and I survived that shit.
Right,
Hopefully.
about technology out there.
Yeah.
I don't believe in God, but there you go.
Yeah. You know, I get the idea of like wanting to just shut everything out. When I heard about the protests, I was still dealing with COVID. And I remember I saw it and I was like, I should care more about this, but I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
So I really had to like look back into it last night because I was like trying to remember exactly what happened throughout most of it.
That's basically my whole 2020 and like my whole thought process.
See,
I should care about this, but
I don't know what it's been. I think it's because I've been playing Cyberpunk, but like I haven't been on social media like at all. Like I'm sure there's a way, but I think I could look at like screen time of like Twitter and stuff, and I think that is just like fallen off the map. Like I don't get on it like at all anymore. So when all this stuff happened, like it just like totally went over my head. Like I just know like bits and pieces from like what people have told me, but it was like, oh well, it was so like, I don't know, it was kind of blissful, you know. I like not being on social media, so I'm thinking about deleting all my accounts, but yeah.
Bring success.
We'll see.
Yeah, for me right now, that's like an all-time low. Like there's like the whole day I either be like watching shit on Netflix, and then at night when I'm super fucking bored, that's when I go on like social media. And then I see how like people treat it, and I would want to delete my shit, but my ego's too fucking big. I need like the satisfaction of somebody looking at me and liking my picture.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
I just hit my
Anyway.
hand right now. I play that shit off.
Anyway, I'm gonna pick a topic because we haven't done a
Okay.
topic yet. But yeah,
Capital C.
Guys being down
I
bad.
know,
That
but we
one
weren't.
like
But we
is
weren't.
so.
We didn't actually pick this one. Okay.
We didn't spin. We didn't
Okay.
spin.
We're gonna do the spin. All right.
Alright, did you take out the capital one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Let's see. So we're gonna land on. Oh my gosh, it's going so much faster now.
Can't see it.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I feel like it goes slower since you do put the string.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
we
makes
got
sense.
Soho Karen.
Okay.
Okay.
Slow Karen.
So-
I haven't heard about that one.
Okay, so this.
think.
Okay, it's fine. So we're doing this thing now where it's like if you don't know much about it, you just say what you know, and then Memo's gonna fact check us, right, Memo?
I'll try my best.
Okay.
Ask me first.
Okay. So what do you think Soho Karen is, Sebas? It doesn't matter if you don't know what it is. If just like make it up if you want to.
I feel like it's some chick from Soho that's getting mad either over the votes or some black person.
You're actually pretty close.
Oh, tight.
So from what I know, I've only seen like a 2-minute like clip.
African
But
American.
from what I know, they're like at like this girl is at like some like phone store. I don't know which one it is. And she's yelling at this kid and her dad and his dad that this kid stole her phone, and this kid's 14 years old and he's black. And his dad is like a Grammy award winning like artist actually, which I thought was weird. And he's recording this whole
What the
thing,
fuck?
and she's like losing her shit about like this kid stealing her phone. And I don't really understand why, because they're at a phone store, like a Sprint or like an iPhone store or something.
Is she there to get a new one? Is she there?
Yeah.
No, they were at a hotel.
They're at what?
They were at a hotel.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
so-
Because the dad at some point he like says like there are plenty of phones here or like something like that. Like he didn't take yours or something. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't
Probably the
know.
people in the lobby. I don't know.
So anyway, but
Assuming-
like this kid didn't steal her phone, and she just falsely accused this 14-year-old kid of stealing her phone, and she's just like going crazy and stuff, and she's like this. I don't know. She's like she looks like this like overprivileged like white girl, like just complaining that like
Is
this
she
kid
young or
stole
old?
her phone. She's young. I would say like she's in like her
22.
like, yeah, in her early 20s,
Damn.
and she looks weird. She's wearing a daddy hat. I think that hat
So-
is from the Call Me Dad or Call Her Daddy
So
podcast.
weird.
I think.
A couple of things for that story.
Okay,
So she
yeah.
accused the 14-year-old, right?
Uh-huh.
She tackled him, to my understanding,
Oh,
which is where the assault comes in, which is why she was charged with assault.
Okay, I didn't know all that.
shit.
And then she accused the father of assaulting her, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, so the phone was later found in an Uber that she left it in.
Oh.
Yeah. Why she thought this individual had the phone, I can't find that. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep on looking. I don't know. And another thing is, so we said that she was white.
Uh-huh.
She went on TV with that daddy hat, right?
Uh-huh.
And she said she can't be racist because
Why?
she's a person of color.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
Of
Is
what
it like one
color?
of those like European ones?
I don't know.
What's the thing? Oh, where like they say like I'm not white,
Look,
I'm just part European or some shit like
I
that.
don't know.
look.
I remember
look.
Tulsi Gabbard, the senator from Hawaii, said that she was a person of color like one time, and I was like, "You're not like what?"
She's just like super fucking tanned.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like
Look, the hypocrisy on Twitter about this person of color stuff. Because I have heard multiple times people of color on Twitter say that they cannot be racist because they're a person of
Oh
color.
yeah, I always thought that was kind of weird.
She said that,
And
or you're saying
she said that, and other people on Twitter have said that nonstop
that?
because racism is
About power.
is institutionalized, right? And then she went on this whole rant. Whether or not you believe she's a person of color, it's a whole
Great
different thing.
Kendrick
But she went on this
Lamar.
whole rant about how like she's Italian and all
Oh,
this other stuff. But like I was amused by this because it wasn't that she was white. Or she looks white,
uh-huh.
It was like oh, that's a stupid reason, and it was like I have heard you guys use this reason so many times in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, so then she's like, I can't use it either. Okay.
I-
Man.
I don't know. The
You're
whole
out-
situation is stupid.
You're at a
It
loss
sounds
of
stupid.
words.
The
It's
whole
one.
I think the interesting thing, because I feel like we get these stories all the time, but it's always some like older lady or like some older guy or something, right? And this girl is like super young, and it seems like she like is like sort of privy to like what's going on. She's obviously not, but like she's heard people use buzzwords in the past, and she thought she could do sort of the same thing to like defend herself. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I think that I think that that's what's so interesting here. And also I don't know. She's just like weird. Just like the Valley Girl voice that she has and stuff. I
Oh,
don't
dude, that's
know.
just so annoying. You ever see on TikTok where like the guy's like her brother's like trying to tell her how to pronounce words correctly, and she's just like no, and he's like no, it's no.
I
It's
have
just
See,
not
like
seen that.
she goes. This is a quote from her. He's 14. That's what they're claiming. Yeah, I'm 22. I've lived probably just the same amount of life. Like honestly, I'm just a kid as
Like
hard as he
honestly.
is. Yeah, I'm just a kid at heart, just like he is. And
What?
it's weird stuff like that. She yeah
And then she's wearing a
age
daddy
is nothing
hat
but a
too, which
number.
is just like so funny.
yeah.
Oh
I
man.
I mean I don't know. It's yeah.
So
You know I
Oh,
mean
Valley
so
Girl
let me
thing was great.
I'm gonna ask the question, the elephant in the room. Do you think the reason why she thought that that this kid in particular stole her phone is because he was black? Or do you think that she was like just legitly thought that, or do you think it's like some like internal
Dude,
thing where, she just looks at every black person
okay.
that way? Or do you
If
think
I
she's
lose
actually
my
racist?
phone,
Uh-huh.
if I lose my phone in a hotel, my first thought isn't somebody stole it from me.
Mhm.
My first thought is, oh shit, I'm an idiot and I lost my phone.
Yeah.
You know, if I see a black person next to me, my first thought isn't he stole my phone,
Uh-huh.
but it was hers.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say it wasn't,
Uh-huh.
like maybe it wasn't like, maybe it didn't cross her mind like, oh, he's black, he stole my phone, but
Uh-huh.
subconsciously, somewhere deep down, he's like, black guy kid next to me in this hotel probably stole my phone.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the truth. There's a weird thing. Same thing happens when you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
People have talked about this before, and they see a white person, and you're just like, whatever. But you see a black person, you get kind of weird. I don't get weird because I'm not walking down the street by myself. But this is an implicit bias thing that they talk about all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why it's that way? You go through media, you go through a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's because maybe she just doesn't see a lot of black people in her life.
Yeah.
But Savas, are you gonna say something?
What do you think, Sebas?
I kind of spaced out there for a bit. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I agree with Memo that like the whole like my first thought is like where did I last see it? And it's like did I leave it in the room? If I'm in a hotel, it's like did I leave it in the room? Or did I take it to the restroom and I just like left it on the fucking toilet or some shit like that? But like
You're
yeah,
not like, oh, someone stole it.
it's like it's like say like we're all like hanging around and I didn't know you, Nick, and you're right next to me. I'm not gonna fucking press you like, yo, did you take my fucking phone?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, have you seen? And I'm gonna describe my phone. Have you
Mhm.
seen like a black phone with the fucked up screen? The fuck. It's just like
I don't
it's
know.
just it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to say that she's not basing it off something that's that's not related to race.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
I want to see the room though, just like in curiosity. I want to see
It
the whole
looks
room.
like, I mean, from the video, it looks like it's like a higher class hotel,
I mean, I would
and
assume
the
if it's like a
manager's also
fucking
there, and
Grammy
he's like
award
dressed
winning.
like in like a vest and a tie and stuff. And like the kid's dad, I mean, he was like a Grammy award winning artist and stuff. So
Question. Okay, so did
So I-
he? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Did he win the Grammy, or is it like one of those awards where it's
No,
kind of like
I think he
gets the
won.
Grammy because his name was in the thing? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I don't know how the Grammys
'Cause-
work.
Because you know how like Steve Lacy has a Grammy when he was like 17. That's because he did some beats for Kendrick Lamar's "Damned"
I don't know.
album.
I don't know who Steve Lacy is.
What?
Who that is.
What, you don't?
No.
Oh my god, dude, that's
need
my
to
indie
fix
face. Yeah, we gotta fix that, dude. It's like some great
I'm
sexy
s-
time
I'm
kind of
sorry.
songs.
I didn't know. I didn't know you guys were were both gonna say.
Yeah,
We're both gonna
man.
react that way.
It's like the whole
She's-
Tyler Kaluush's kind of
So
vibe.
she says she's Puerto Rican and Italian Greek.
Puerto
No,
Rican?
she's not. Or
That's what
maybe
she
she
said.
is, but like as soon as people like start like quoting like all these different races they are, or all these different like I don't know what the difference between like race and like nationality is, but like as soon as they start like mentioning like 3 or 4 of them, it's like you're not a
Puerto
person of
Rican.
color. Only a white
They
person
pull
does
up
that.
the Elizabeth Warren. They're like, I'm 1/4 Cherokee
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
no, like you're
I'm 1/10
you're
Cherokee,
just white,
actually.
Yeah.
like no,
Can I
you're
say
not.
the Washington football team name? Their actual.
I know. Can
No.
Elizabeth Warren say that?
Mm.
Sorry, I'm reading what she said. Y'all continue.
So
Oh.
anyway, who's Steve Lacy? I don't know who that is.
Oh my
He's
God!
an
Seriously,
artist.
it's an artist, man. You never heard of
No, I got that.
what? What's his either Ride or Dark Red?
Nope, never
Dude,
heard of it.
after this podcast, man,
Okay,
soothe your
I got
ears.
something to listen to.
It's honestly, it's pretty mellow for the most part. It's like him, like what would you describe it as, Memo? Like who would be another name?
Steve
Or
Lacy?
yeah, yeah. Who would you
I
like
mean,
say a
Frank
name?
Ocean.
Frank
no,
Ocean.
it's like, I guess, like Franco. Yeah, it's like indie pop. Not indie pop, no. I don't know. I don't know.
Indie R&B or some shit. I don't know.
I was trying to fact check. Let's
Sorry.
see
I'm
what
trying to
Memo
read
knows.
this, and it's just like, I'm
No,
trying to read what's
it's like
right.
it's some
I
great
think
singing, some simplistic beats.
I think with this girl, it's pretty obviously like some sort of like implicit bias or like something stupid, going on in her head. So let me ask you this, Sebas. How do you fix that? Like, how do you fix that in someone? You know?
It's I mean
And then
hard
Memo
to
could jump
say
in
because it's
later.
like how do we? I mean, assuming that everybody here is like doesn't care about race.
Hmm.
How do we get there ourselves?
Yeah.
How do you fix implicit bias?
Yeah.
I mean, they have like diversity trainings, which are kind of a joke.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck even is that? Diversity
Trust
training.
me, when you go like work, you're gonna be put through one at one point.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to treat the black person as the same as a
It's
white
just
person? What?
it's
I
just
didn't know that.
yeah, it's stuff like that, and like they'll do the EEO stuff where they're like, don't harass women
Don't
in
Yeah.
the
say the N
office.
word. Don't say any racial slur. I was like, oh,
Even though
really?
most of the training ends up being just really cringy videos, and you're like, yeah, we kind of understand not to say the N word around
You
anybody, you know.
It's another dare
I
video.
actually had to do something similar for when I went to college, where it was like this cringy online thing I had to do. It was like, hey, it was like you would watch like these video situations. It would be like a girl passed out at a party or something, and it's like, what do you not do and stuff like that, and you had to like answer correctly, or else you had to like rewatch the video and stuff. Or like there was one that I thought was really funny. It was like you and like your roommate were like just hanging out, and then like a person next to you was talking to someone else, and then they started like saying like they didn't use like racial slurs, but they started saying like stuff that would like degrade like other people of color and stuff like that. And it's like, what do you do? Do you correct them? And then so you would have to like answer correctly there and stuff. I don't know. It was pretty silly. So you might do that if you ever go to college or something. Um,
Yeah, but
It's just a bunch of common sense kind of things. I'm just
I think
going.
ultimately the only way you fix the implicit bias situation is by meeting people you usually don't hang
yeah,
around with.
I totally agree with that. I think that that's really the only way to do it. I
But
mean,
what are we
going out.
supposed to do? Get like a black person, just like lend them to different, like kind of like that's the issue.
Dude,
Like at
just
the
find a
end,
black person on the street, put him in the fucking classroom full of white people who's like talk to
like
him.
Yeah, I
Talk
bet
to
this is like a conversation that I usually have with people. I like, let's see, how do I say this without like sounding like super stupid? But like, I do have like a little bit. I don't know if sympathy is the right word, but I do have a little bit of understanding towards people that are like that just stay stuck in a town for their whole life, and they sort of stay like kind of poor, and like they never really had any opportunities. And usually those are the people that you run into that have like some really bad biases towards others,
yeah,
And it bothers me sometimes when like I'll be hanging out with like friends of mine that have like been to college and that have like done all this like crazy cool stuff, and that had the money to like hang out with like a bunch of people and go and travel to like different places. And then they come down to like their small towns and they start like disparaging people that like never had the opportunity to do that. And so I have like some understanding as to like why like someone would have like implicit bias, especially if they've never had like an opportunity to like go travel because they've never had money, or maybe they had a kid at a young age, so they never really got to like go out and like experience the world. Um, so I don't know. I think like maybe if you like really took like a look at like poverty and stuff, and or like I
Yeah.
know some people talk about like free college and stuff like that too, so maybe that would help also. But I think that's really probably the best way to like really get rid of implicit bias and like on all fronts, but just as one of
I don't
those
know.
things.
I think it's like hard to like tell someone they're wrong when they don't think that they're wrong.
Well, I think it's hard to tell someone that they're wrong when their morals are correct, because I think like friends that I have that go off to school and that learn that like racism is like really really terrible, and then when they come back down and they've noticed like racism in their town, I think it's hard to like say like, oh, like maybe like have understanding towards people, because that's not like the proper thing to do. But I think it's also important to understand like a privilege that you've gained from being
Yeah.
able to like travel and go out there.
Well, I think it's like I've said this for a while. This new age racism,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like whereas like before it would be like you would separate blacks and whites, Mexicans and whites, and
Mm-hmm.
you would like call them the N word and you would think poorly of them.
Mm-hmm.
But now you usually think, oh, I'm not racist, you
Yeah.
know. But if I saw a black person down the street, I'd get a little weird because I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah.
It's like weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like you have a black friend or a Mexican friend, and you're like,
Oh, that makes it okay
you're,
for me to say certain
yeah,
things.
or like, hey, you're not bad. You're one of the good ones,
Yeah, that's
and
so awkward.
Dude, that
That's
line,
so
it's
awkward.
always met with silence. It's
So
always met with silence.
I always get like when I went to school, right? Like, and I look like super white, and when I would tell people like, no, I'm actually Mexican, and like I grew up on the border and everything like that, and people would be like, oh, say something in Spanish or something like that. It would always
yeah,
be like a little like, why? Like, is that what makes me Mexican, or that's what makes me
yeah.
Spanish? Like, I don't know. I don't know. All
It's
that
a
stuff
really,
is super weird.
it's extremely odd. I don't know. And then you have like other issues like with cops and implicit bias.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I know like I know this is taking kind of like a dark road, but like in LA, right? Like in Compton, right,
Mhm.
which is predominantly black,
Mhm.
right? And when you pull over black people, because it's predominantly black, and you pull
Mhm.
over black people most of the time, you're gonna end up kind of like putting those two together in your head.
Yeah.
Like not all black people, of course, in Compton are like gang banging or into crime and stuff, right? But when you see that the most in your mind, it just connects,
Yeah.
right? So you act differently
Mhm.
around black folks. And
Mhm.
it takes a lot of work to not do that.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I really, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That
Soho
that's
Karen, idiot.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, she is. But that's why I'm like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and if you're someone that's like sort of already done the work and has been able to like get to the point where you don't have implicit bias, which I think is probably impossible. I'm pretty sure most people have implicit bias at some point, or on some level. But if you really are in like your heart of hearts trying to like fix that, I think then it's important to like really know how difficult that is, and to like try to help people, because like even with the Soho Karen kid chick, like she's only 22 and stuff, and it's like I don't know. I mean, this is probably gonna go into like cancel culture a little bit, so I don't know. I don't know if she should be canceled. I don't think that's gonna help the world. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's fun to like make fun of her and stuff, but I think
Yeah, just shit on it, but like, who gives a shit at the end of the day?
yeah, but like also
Whether she's
like
like doing something.
what is that gonna like teach her? Like is that gonna like make her like less racist in the future? You know what I mean? Like is
Yeah.
that really gonna like help the world at all? Like maybe like, oh, maybe if we like, I know this sounds like kind of stupid. Maybe if we like extend like a helping hand and like try to like educate
Well,
and try to be like, no, that's not, like, I don't know.
well,
Or
to be fair, she hasn't really shown a capacity to like understand that,
yeah,
to like take
that's the thing.
responsibility and be like, hey, maybe I should listen.
Mhm.
It's all been very defensive.
Mhm.
You
Excuse
know,
after excuse.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all been very like, I'm not racist. I'm Italian, Greek, and whatever else she is.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's the issue. But again, I think because in her mind, she's not a racist.
Yeah.
You know, she's not wasn't because he was black. It was just because he was menacing and he looked like the kind of person that could steal a phone. You know.
Mm-hmm. So then, yeah, but I would say that like the response though on social media, I don't think it really cares whether or not. Well, I think on some level it does. I don't think it really cares whether or not she had like an understanding of like what she did was wrong. Because even if she came out and she was like, "Hey, listen, I think this happened like a few months ago with like a girl that was like, she was out walking her dog and then like a black guy who was just like bird watching. I forget like their names and stuff. He was like bird watching, right, and like was doing nothing, so he had binoculars and stuff. And she just like starts berating him, like saying that like, "Oh, you're stalking me, you're doing all this stuff, and like all this is going on, right?" And like she's like freaking out and like she's like totally losing her shit, like completely like losing it. And the guy's like, "No, I'm not, like I'm literally just bird watching, ma'am, like I don't know what's going on or anything." She's like, "I'm calling the police and stuff." And it caused like this whole uproar on social media and stuff about like, dang, like this girl is just like totally like throwing him under the bus and like all this stuff and like things like that. And it's like the exact same response that Soho Karen got. But and maybe I'm like misremembering this, but like at least at the time I remember she showed like a bit of understanding. Like she was like, "Listen, like I totally like freaked out. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with, like, issues and stuff, and like I don't know, like I've just been always been taught like in a world like I need to be like afraid of men because of all the women that are like getting in trouble and stuff." And she was like, "But I sincerely apologize to this guy, like that was so wrong for me to do, like I try not to be racist and stuff like that." But like she still got canceled, she got fired from her job, she like lost all this stuff. So even though she like showed a little bit of like, "Hey, like I try to want to like understand or try to want to like fix this," like nobody really wanted to help her. They just like threw her under the bus completely, which I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's like the proper way to go about that. Like, are we really like making the world a better place by doing that, or are we just like,
Yeah.
are we just
Yeah.
like
I think.
picking up the trash and like moving it somewhere else or something?
Yeah. I think it's because honestly, I think most people are smart enough that they won't get in these kind of situations.
Yeah,
And so when they see like somebody like this, they're like, "Oh, this idiot just needs to be like destroyed." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like get better is like the process that they think sometimes.
Get good, kid.
Get
Get,
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
GG. GG well played.
because I mean, like the 22-year-old should know better.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like she should know better. There's also other things. So like when you call the cops, I've heard people saying that's like using the cops as like a weapon
Mhm.
because you never know what's going to happen when a cop shows up and you just
Yeah.
got accused of stalking a person,
Yeah,
So I don't know. I never know how I feel about jobs firing people.
yeah,
I know it's a thing. Like I know I could be fired because I said something wrong or I say something, I do something,
yeah.
It's really in there. It's like, hey, if you fuck up and you do something to tarnish the reputation, you will
Mm-hmm.
be fired. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, she has to work somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
But,
Wait, talking about the whole thing about like people using cops as weapons. You ever seen those videos where like a girl will be like, "You're doing something illegal here," like all calm and stuff, and then they're like, she's like, "I'll call the cops." And when we start calling the cops, she like starts freaking out.
yeah.
She's like, "Oh my god, this guy's here! Like he's harassing me! Like I'm trying to run away, but he keeps following me!" Like like they put on a show on the phone,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of like, I feel like that's what people think of when there's like saying like they use them as like weapons
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah,
That's somebody
maybe.
that's dealt with the cops before, though.
The what?
Huh?
That's somebody that's dealt with cops before.
Yeah.
Because, like, to be fair, like, a lot of the times, like, unless like, in a big city, right, the amount of calls that come in for stupid shit
Mm-hmm.
all the time,
Cat stuck
right?
in a tree or something.
Yeah. Or my neighbor's music is too loud,
Yeah.
Why are you
like,
calling me? Why are you calling
like,
for?
stuff,
Go.
or like,
And then you
go
ask them
tell them
like,
to shut up.
have you talked to them to tell them to lower it? And they're like,
Yeah.
no.
He's like, are you down bad? Just fucking have sex.
It's like when there's like crashes and it's
Uh-huh.
like fender benders and it's like, why do you want to what is the cop gonna do,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So people kind of get this idea where like if they scream loud and they act like there's something, then the cops are just automatically going to show up,
Yeah.
which is kind of true to a certain extent.
Interesting.
I'm
but
sighing.
it sounds like she's like, she knew that if she acted up a fool that they were going to come quickly and believe her.
Yeah.
that's probably more weaponizing the police than the bird watcher lady.
Yeah.
She might have thought that she was actually being stalked in your dumb little head, versus like the other person's like actively.
She got her dog taken away from her by like whatever the dog company or whoever takes back dogs from because in the video she's like freaking out and she's like clutching her pearls or whatever. She's like, oh my gosh, and she's like pulling the dog's leash and the dog is like being pulled by the neck and stuff. It looks like pretty bad. And they took away her dog and she was like, oh, but that's been my dog for years, my service dog.
Your dogs,
and they took her away. So,
good lord.
I love dogs.
Yeah, her whole life was like ruined.
How to not be racist. What a concept.
How to be a good owner for a dog.
Point taken.
Yeah. I don't know.
How to not be racist.
Don't be racist, guys. You know how you cannot be racist? Listen to Simpsons Tones, and we'll tell you to work on your implicit bias. That's how we'll do it, right, Memo?
Yeah, I'm like the most non-racist person ever.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Instead of saying you're one of the good ones, you could say you're really cool, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Let's move on to another topic. Okay, so I'm not going to share it on my screen, so I'll just tell you what we got.
So Valorant, Sebas. Nah, just kidding.
Wow.
I popped off right now for that one game we played.
You can play later, guys. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, wait, Memo, you work today, right?
Yeah.
Dude, just wait. Cut this out. Memo, just call it off, dude. Let's have like a 4-hour podcast. Just say you're feeling really sick. The doctor said fuck off.
Nah.
We landed on Valentine's Day. So,
it's coming up.
Yeah, it is coming up. So, Memo, what are you going to get your girlfriend for Valentine's Day?
I haven't had a girlfriend in years.
Dude, what is it?
I haven't had a girlfriend in a while either, so.
Have y'all ever seen like Moist Critical? Like he has like candles and they're like titled like somebody's vagina. Like, I think it's Gwen Stefani's, I think.
Yeah. Or the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow, there you go,
yeah.
That's the name. She has her pussy like post cum or some shit. And then recently he got Ethan Klein's butthole.
So is that what you're getting your girlfriend for Valentine's Day? So, why did you
oh shit! I'm hoping for it.
I was actually has a girlfriend.
I know you actually have a girlfriend, right? So what are you gonna get her for Valentine's Day?
She sent me like a whole like meme saying like my boyfriend hasn't asked me to be his Valentine's Day like date or something, and I was like, it's not February, and she was like, damn. I was like,
yeah, you could actually probably have combined Down Bad and Valentine's Day.
I know, I could have. So
yeah. You can talk about how good my life is and how crappy y'all's life.
So yeah, what are my other topics? Let's see. So I have Down Bad, right? Boys being down bad, and then the Great Deplatforming. So I mean that could have also tied into cancel culture.
Valentine's Day. Oh,
yeah.
It's the guys that are down bad that gets canceled.
Yeah, I know.
Deplatforming.
So, I haven't been down bad in a while, but Valentine's Day, I thought that was gonna like throw me into the bus for a second.
No, I wasn't.
No, Valentine's Day. The first thing that comes to mind is like junior year in high school. Right, and I'm not gonna say person's name, but I bought something for somebody. Right, and it was just kind of like whatever. No, I wasn't whatever. I was really nervous about it, right? And she got it, right? But okay, so before she got it, some other guy gave her something, right? And I was like, oh, okay, fuck it, whatever. And then, so she was in the parking lot, right, of the high school, and she has this guy's Valentine's gift, which is like a teddy bear and like something else, right? And she lights it on fire.
Wait, what? I don't remember this.
Yeah, she lights it on fire, right? And I was like, and I haven't like actually given it to her yet. And I was like, oh shit, like, do I want to give this girl a Valentine's present? So then I asked my friend who was her best friend, and I was like, hey, well, like, what, why? You know? And she goes, oh, I don't know. She just didn't like him, and she just thought it was stupid.
Why burn it though?
I don't know. She had
you could have just thrown it away.
Just throw it away.
Why burn it? Oh no.
I don't know.
It's like she's like watching it as it throws up in flames. It's like some symbolism for her childhood.
That guy's down bad. Whoever gave that to her is down bad. Do you know who gave it to her? You could tell me off podcast.
I don't know him. But he was older than us. They're all older than us. Okay. And I was just like, oh, maybe I don't want to give this to her, you know, because whatever, right? But she got my gift and she actually liked it and she still has it. So
Oh, hey, good for
Nice,
her.
I'm not. I wasn't down bad that Valentine's Day.
I remember Valentine's Day of high school. This is like the weirdest story of high school, and like actually continued on to this year. But like, so like there was like a girl that I knew, and like we're like acquaintances and stuff, and her and her friend who was a little bit closer to me at the time, they came up to me and they were like, hey, like you know, so and so, or she was like, I don't have a Valentine this year. Would you like to be my Valentine? And then like my friend that I was a little bit closer to, like tried to like convince me, like, yeah, you should be her Valentine and stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, like fine. And we did that twice. Like it happened one year and then again the next year. But like it was always sort of set up as like, yeah, like the guy that like she wanted a Valentine from didn't pull through or whatever, or didn't like want to be her Valentine, so like they ended up coming to me. It was like always like these weird like caveats that came with it, and I was always like, oh, and it was kind of like offensive. It was like, oh, but whatever, right?
You were down bad.
Yeah,
He was down
or
bad.
I thought, as it turns out, like I found out this year, it was like, no, like she actually had like a huge crush on me, and she actually like legit wanted to be like Valentine's, but she didn't really know how to like ask me, or she didn't want to ask me properly, like, or something. I don't know what was going through her head. So like that was like the story that like her and my friend came up with to tell me.
Dude,
And
I feel like that's like some elementary shit, man.
I was like, what? Why not just like say,
No offense.
like, why not just be
Real.
like, hey, let's
Yeah.
just be Valentine's? I didn't understand why they always added like these weird caviats.
It made you
like
feel
the
weird
whole-
about yourself. You were like,
I don't know. I mean, my emotional intelligence when I was in high school was like super low. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Like it wasn't until later on that I was like, that's kind of fucked up that she thought that way. And then now this year I found out like, oh no, like she just legit like had a huge crush. And
like you would think, cause like okay, like with like dances and like Valentine's Day, I feel like it would be easier to ask somebody out, cause at that point you could use that as your purpose.
yeah,
So it's just like, hey, you want to be on Valentine's Day? Get rejected. It's not like, like it's just like
I
okay,
get you.
whatever.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go get candy from somebody else. Fuck you.
yeah,
we're teenagers are stupid.
yeah. I know.
I don't know. I always thought about it. I was like, what's so wrong with asking them? Okay, like sophomore year, like I was not dating anybody, and then Valentine's Day came around, and I didn't really care. And I just got like a shit ton of chocolate, and I was like, oh, I didn't get you anything, but thank you.
Must be nice.
But yeah. So
I'm
you
too
haven't.
cute.
So you're not getting your girlfriend anything for Valentine's
Oh no,
Day?
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
look for
okay,
something,
okay,
but it's just like, I forgot what we were doing. Recently
I think
we
'cause
want to
of
go
the pandemic.
bowling. Yeah, exactly. But it's like I really like bowling. I
Uh-huh.
don't go bowling like frequently, but every time I win,
Is
I've
the
always had a
bowling
fun
alley
time.
open? That's,
I have no idea.
That seems
Everything's
like
open, Nick.
that seems like the grossest place to go on.
Yeah, it really is. But
during a
I
pandemic.
really,
Okay,
I
look,
really fuck with
okay.
bowling.
Bowling alley, Mr. Gaddy's. Grossest place you can go during COVID.
I
fuck
take
yeah,
Gaddies.
dude.
I take Gaddies.
Sebas has been to Gaddy's, and that's why when I hear that, I'm
Ew.
always like, why? Go to
Why?
Gaddy's?
That's like a buffet where everyone like breathes over the food and stuff.
Hanging out, man. Oh shit, Memo.
Memo's
Hanging
camera
out,
went away.
man.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm
Like-
going.
In a bowling alley, you're like sticking your fingers in like
It's
places
something that other people, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Sorry.
I'm basically probably already had COVID. She already had COVID. We're immune.
Oh my! See, this is how it starts, Sebas. This is how it
You're only
starts.
immune for like a couple months or something.
They don't know if that's true. You might actually be immune for years, but
Ever.
Yeah,
Oh.
Dude,
But they
honestly,
don't even know if like who knows if you could pass it still.
yeah, that's true.
like if
Don't know that.
if I have it right now, I'm not really like even I could be fucking dying.
Sebas, we were just talking about this earlier.
No, 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 no,
when
no,
we
no.
were
But
talking
I'm
about
not.
COVID.
I'm not going out. I'm not saying all these like like right now. I'm not thinking about going out because I know that I probably do have it, or some people around me have had it and they're next to me.
Mhm.
Like no, I'm not asking to go out or anything.
Uh-huh.
So it's just like if I know I'm in the clear.
No, I mean you could do other things. You go to the lake.
Go to the lake.
No, yeah, I know.
Did you
It was just a suggestion because she knows that I like bowling, and she's
Yeah.
always been wanting to bowl too.
You know,
Why don't
you
you-
could
why
buy
don't you-
her a bowling set.
Yeah, why don't you make
What
like
in
a
the-
makeshift bowling alley on like your
Oh,
front
dude,
yard or something?
I'm totally gonna get like a fucking like one of the kid ones that we got Noah.
Yeah, there you go.
why not?
Just make that, and then it'll be like super
Join the
romantic.
driveway or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, simple.
that'd
Yeah,
be
we could
super
do that.
cute. There you go.
And then
dude.
somebody can burn the fuck out of like some chicken, and then that would be
I
our
thought you were gonna
meat.
say someone could burn the fuck out of like a Valentine's Day gift or something.
Jesus.
Lord. Poor guy, dude. I wonder what happened to him.
Dude, he was down bad.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows?
I mean, I don't know.
Yikes.
I mean, we've
I
all
mean,
been
if
down
you
bad.
saw it, I feel like somebody else was it. It's like, is that a fucking burning teddy bear or something?
Nick and I have been down bad. I don't know
Yeah,
if that
we've
was
been down bad. But hold on, wait. Let's spin it. Maybe we'll get that next.
Wait, Valentine's Day. Wait, that one thing.
Okay.
Do y'all think it's important? Like, do y'all like Valentine's Day or?
I think it's about as important as whatever my significant other thinks at the time. Honestly,
Okay.
like if they don't care, then I
Since-
don't care. But if they care, then I
since-
care.
I'm in the first year of the relationship.
I really
right?
don't-
The
I'm
months
indifferent.
are important in some way
Uh-huh.
since I'm in the first year. So it's like Valentine's Day is just like it's always close to the date.
Uh-huh.
So then in my head it's like, are we celebrating here on Valentine's Day? Or are we gonna celebrate on that date?
Celebrate both, bro.
Yeah, you celebrate
I know,
both,
no,
dude.
we end up we like we always end up usually doing that, right? But it's just kind of like
You
I
just
never
like, I
really-
just want to
I-
play
I-
Valorant one
I've
day.
I know, I
never-
just want to play video games. Why do I have to
I've
do-
never really cared for Valentine's Day. I like the symbolism and all that stuff. At the same time, like some people like hype it up as like another Christmas.
Yeah.
I hate the symbolism of Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
I don't really care for any of that stuff. Like it's kind
No,
of
it's like
it's kind of
It's like
dumb.
you know I like you. It's if February
Yeah.
14th was just a regular day, it would be
But-
the same day.
But I will say this, like
Yeah.
whenever like my dad gets my mom something like sweet on Valentine's Day, or whenever like I see older people do something sweet for like their like significant other
Dude.
on Valentine's Day, I think it's cute. Like I don't know.
Old
See-
people are wholesome as fuck.
Okay, look.
Making sure they're not racist. and
Look,
shit.
I think there's two different things going on here. All right, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cut out for me. So I think there's like the person who's like really nice to their significant other and they love each other and they have issues, but they get through them and shit, right? Right, and that's fine, right? And then they use Valentine's Day as another reason to get somebody something, right? But then you have a lot of people out there who don't do shit for the whole year.
Let's see. Hold on, Memo. Hold that thought because I really have to pee. Or continue it if you want.
Yeah, they don't
We
do
can
shit.
talk them.
They don't do shit for the whole year, right?
Yeah.
And then Valentine comes along and they like go off and they think that that's it.
Oh, like that's like
Yeah.
the big shebang.
Yeah, like that's it. Like they don't have to be nice anymore, or not nice, but like they could be dicks and do other shitty stuff, or not care, or not be that into. Like that's
Yeah.
that's an issue that I see sometimes.
I mean, like with me, like if I have the opportunity to get like Sandra something, I'm gonna get her something. You
Yeah.
know? But it's just like Valentine's Day, some people would just make that as like like with the whole like that's the one day
Yeah,
that we can do all this shit. Well, we can do what we do on Valentine's Day any other day of the week.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of the idea of like money being spent on a specific day just because or just because like some company wants it. I'm not a big fan of that. But the other extent, it's like it's just another day to give somebody you love something nice. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean, it is. Yeah, I've known girls who have been like, "Don't give me anything on Valentine's Day because it's just capitalism at its finest." It doesn't mean anything because
Oh,
it feels like you're forced to get it, and I don't think that's necessarily true either. But for the most part, at least, if your relationship is like that, then you should probably get out of it. But
to like
if they're using Valentine's Day because
as a-
they feel forced to do it and they don't do anything else for like the rest of the year, they're kind of shitty boyfriend.
yeah, it's kind of so weird. It's really weird how people push themselves like or drive themselves in a relationship that's pretty lopsided.
Yeah.
I always find it awkward.
Well, it's really easy to get lost in relationships. Sorry, my camera went out of focus.
I mean, yeah, but like I've been in relationships where like it felt pretty lopsided, and then after a while I just gave up on it. I was just like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I really think we should go our separate ways. And then after we go our separate ways, I'm fine. And
Yeah.
then sometimes they would be sad. And they'll try to come back to me, and I'll be like, nah.
Okay.
I'll be nice to you, but I'll apologize for whatever I did that like kind of turned you off. But other than that, it's like, don't bother me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, people are just built differently. They take things differently.
Some people are too passive. Fuck
Like
the
mom,
attention.
mom, when she sees you with your girlfriend, she always tells me, she's like, "That kid just doesn't care. I hate it." And I'd be like, "Well, he's just doing him." She'd be like,
Wait, I don't care about what exactly. Like,
she
she ever
goes
like,
like she feels like you're not like it's not that. So like when you broke up with your ex girlfriend, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Remember
was
how
like-
she was like super like, hey, you need to give her another chance and like you need to like talk to her and stuff. She was really on her side, you know,
Yeah.
even though she was kind of crazy. No offense, right?
Oh no, I said it before.
but like you know, she sees it as like you're not necessarily like you weren't hurt by it or like you weren't like dying by it kind of a thing. And
No,
like,
I was fucking annoyed. I broke up with her, and then I was just like, I don't want to go back.
yeah, and she'd be like, your brother's mean. He like doesn't care, and I'd be like, that's good,
Dude, I didn't
He's not
care
simping,
because
dude.
she didn't care. Like, why am I gonna waste my energy on something that
Yeah.
I felt wasn't, it
Yeah.
wasn't there? And I was just kind of like, it only mattered to her after I said the words like, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
And that was whenever like the whole like crying came in. That's whenever the whole like, that's where some people be like, oh, I feel like a bad person. I'm like, fuck you, don't do that shit to yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's a very thin line you're walking between like
Oh yeah, there's
being
always like
not a
there's-
simp and being an asshole. So be careful. But I get what you're saying. I'm with you.
I would say I'm an asshole. I would say I'm an asshole. Even if I'm not an asshole, I would just describe myself as one because sometimes I'm pretty selfish.
But you
and
know
I
what?
am.
At least you're not a guy being down bad, which is what I spun and I got right now. So we get to
Nice. Oh yeah, guys are down bad. Are we, okay, with this topic, are we talking about someone specific or just like?
No, just in general.
Do you have somebody specific?
Yeah, do you?
No, that was what I was saying.
Oh.
Do we have somebody that's specific? I was like, because I don't really know anybody that's down bad per se.
Me and Memo have been down bad in the past.
Yeah, y'all show off your
Multiple
horniness
Yeah.
like anyway.
Oh no, way more than just horniness, dude. We've been in love.
I think
What?
I think the worst I've ever been down bad. I can't think of like any like specific things I like said or anything that like would show up on like the Twitter account. I'm sure there is. I've blocked it out of my mind, so I can't think.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah, but like, I think the worst was like when I think like back in like high school, like I was like in love with this girl and she dated everyone that was around me, but not me. She would like date someone that we would go to church with or like date someone that like someone else, and it was always
Church,
just
man.
like, yeah, never me. And there are things that I did, that were like that didn't help the situation for sure, but it was just the typical simping relationship that just never
You were down
You know,
bad, bro.
Yep,
Dude,
never worked
the
out
moments
for
I
me.
ever was a simp, I only cared for like 5 minutes. And then I genuinely thought about it, where I was kind of like, if I do get with this girl, do I really would like the relationship? Like, I know she's pretty, but
Yeah.
would I really like the relationship? And some of the people are just dry, in my
See,
opinion.
okay, so he said 5 minutes. Nick, how long did this simping
I don't
relationship?
want to talk about that. That's not
No,
important.
wait. I can say
That's
5
not
minutes,
important.
but I can say like 5 minutes throughout the day.
That's not important.
You know?
Normal.
Because there's some people that I've like simped for where it was like kind of like a year thing, like a school year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then after that, just kind of after like that school year in the summer, it was like, oh, nobody really texts me, so why would I care about? So it's just kind of like,
I've
Think
never
myself.
heard of you being down bad, Sebas. Like we have been down bad. Like
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna
we're-
say I'm like that. It's like
you're very confident with females,
I'm very pretty.
and yeah, you believe in yourself and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've had moments where you're down bad, but like not as bad as we've been down bad.
Yeah, we've been
You know?
down bad.
Yep.
Sucks,
But
man.
it is what it
Okay,
is.
good.
You want to talk about? I told the story, Memo. You tell a story now about you
no,
being
I'm
down
good.
bad.
Nah, I'm good. I don't know. I should have had more. I don't know. I was still looking up the Soho Karen stuff, honestly.
Are you down bad against Soho
Dude,
Karen?
Fact check how to
Oh.
how to know that if you're down bad.
I was gonna ask this, and it kind of has to do with being down bad. So like when you're simping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simps and stones, of course. All right, let me give you a situation. Okay, you're an atheist,
Uh-huh.
right? And you're for lack of a better term, you're pussy hungry, right?
Uh-huh.
No, that's the wrong term. You want a relationship.
of all the words, of all the phrases.
Dude,
Right,
you're trying to be the coochie man. You're trying to be the coochie
Okay,
man.
approaching the coochie man, and there's somebody in there in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's super religious, right? Okay, right, and she invites you to learn about God,
Uh-huh.
right? Is it terrible to not pretend to be, because I know to pretend to be interested is terrible. But like if you're like like 1/4 interested, no 1/8 interested in learning about God, you know,
But
like
you're like 8 out of 8% interested on the girl.
yeah, like you're more
7 out of
interested
8.
in like learning about her versus learning about God. You know, I'll say I could care less about learning about God. Okay, like I don't care. Like I'm pretty agnostic. You know, like I could give a shit about it, but like, is that being down bad? Like, is that
I think you're on the verge of being down bad.
Yeah, you're on the verge because like it's like if you're gonna go against something that you believe in, or like are you gonna go against something that like?
I mean, I'm open to it.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is like when you go against something that you know you don't really fuck with for
Yeah.
a girl or for whoever you're going for.
Okay, look.
You're pretty-
I think you'll be down bad if like you come back to us and you're just like, yeah, like I learned all
Yeah,
this stuff
man.
about Jesus and all this stuff
God
and
is
like all
real.
this God is great.
God is
I'm like,
with
and then
us.
we are like, oh, but like, what did you learn about the girl? What is she like? And you're like, I don't know. Then you're down bad. Then you fucked up. Then you didn't do it correctly.
Oh, no, I mean, it's kind of fucked up to do that, though, right?
Yeah, in a way.
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I think
Because you're like pretending to like be interested in something. I don't know. It sounds feels weird. You know?
I mean, I guess, but you said that you're like open to it, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm open to anything. You know, like she
I
could
mean,
say she's
the whole-
cannibalism, and I'd be like, well, that's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, but it's
I could
like
write a
the only thing I
script
know about
about that.
cannibalism,
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
Army
think-
Hammer stuff.
bruh. The only thing I know about cannibalism is like it's not illegal to be a cannibalist, but it's illegal to murder somebody. That's all it is.
Technically, if they kill themselves. Anyways, have
I
you heard
don't know
the
why we jumped into that.
Army Hammer stuff?
No, I heard something, but like I don't know what's going on.
Talk about being down bad, man.
No way.
Homie was having text chains with Jennifer Lopez or somebody about like eating her and shit. Like legit, like I want to eat you.
Like
I want to
like
taste your
cannibal?
skin, and yeah. Now he said this is not true, but he left a movie because of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know how not true it is.
Wait, he said that he wanted to like eat her, like actually eat her.
It's a fetish of being cannibal.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
dude, I mean,
Army
there's
Hammer's
weird
a
fetishes.
cannibal?
Well, I don't know if he's actually
No.
ever ate a person, but he fetishizes about it.
There,
Oh,
wait, no, there's like a
actors
whole
are
like fetish out
weird.
there.
Actors
There's a
and
whole-
actresses are fucking weird, dude.
Army
There's
Hammer
a
had that like
fetish.
baby licking thing. Sounds
Baby
weird.
licking.
Yeah.
I was like,
He like had like a video of like him and he gets his baby's foot and he like licks it. Sexual. It's not sexual. He didn't say it. Just looked weird. Okay.
it's like Tom Brady kissing his kids.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more than that because it was just weird. Like everything he was doing, and he got flack for that too at one point.
But no, all I know is like there's a fetish out there that people like messing around with blood. Dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Delphine had a photo shoot with blood, and I thought it was disgusting.
Like actual blood, like pig blood, I'm assuming or something.
I'm pretty sure it's fake blood, but it was just disgusting.
Anyway, man, well,
Yeah.
back to someone's situation that's totally not in this call about being an atheist and pussy hungry or whatever, however you described it.
You know,
Coochie.
But in this hypothetical, right? I don't think it's necessarily bad. I don't think it's necessarily you being down bad, but like, yeah, I mean, actually, like, learn about, or like, if this person learns about the girl, and like, then I think like, oh, okay, that's okay, and then if she reciprocates like wanting to date, then yeah, then I don't think you'll be down bad.
yeah. I guess if it were to happen and this person gets in a relationship with the other person, and then they become like a Mormon, you know, then they're pretty down bad.
Well, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, if you ended up with the person, I'd be like, respect, you know.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be Mormon, so
Wait,
Oh,
never
yeah.
mind. Okay. Anyway, that was
It's
pretty funny.
no names.
Yeah. So
No name.
so yeah, I've been down bad. Momo's been down bad. You
I don't
wanna-
even want to talk about my down bad moments. I don't want to go down that road again. I'm way past them now.
I told my story.
Yeah, but yours is like fine.
Yeah. it's
Yours
not-
is normal.
Yeah,
It's not
like
that
yours
bad.
is like, well, you didn't even like if you put like the range it was in, it would make it sound a
No.
lot worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how long it lasted? It lasted a pretty long time.
Bless you.
It was like It was like from freshman year to freshman year of college.
Yeah, it was
I think so.
Wait,
Yeah.
from freshman year in high school to college, or freshman year in college?
Yeah. The first one, freshman
Okay.
high school, freshman college.
Yeah, I feel like that's like most people's down bad moments. The ones that are like usually take a lot of time
Yeah.
and somewhat your own personal effort.
Yeah, and it wasn't she was like mean or anything, or like
Yeah, no, she was cool, but
or like using you or anything. She was just one of those situations.
It was one of those situations where like it wasn't meant. Not meant. Like
I guess,
y'all just weren't on the same page.
She yeah, we just weren't on the same page. Yeah. No, I mean she would like. I mean we like she dated like a bunch of other people like around me and stuff, but never me. To be fair, we go to like we live in a smaller town and like in a smaller school, so like anyone she dated was gonna be like
around you.
Yeah, so
somewhere near you, or you've seen them.
I mean, it's super difficult, specifically in that moment, because you're young.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you're doing half the time,
Yeah.
And there's this really nice person, and y'all were doing coupley things, So I could see why you would get confused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That the whole coupley thing is the weirdest and awkward moment.
There was like, and like we ended up like rekindling like. Or not rekindling. That sounds weird. We ended up like after like I was in school for like after I was in college, like after a while.
Look at 1700s.
We ended up like getting back in touch again and talking again, and like we like looked back at like those years and like we like ended up like explaining like how weird it was and how like bad it like of a situation it was for each other. So like we ended up talking about it and like burying the hatchet a little bit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So
it happens a lot though.
Yeah.
Like there's always like those two people where everybody's like they're dating. It's like no, they're not.
Yeah. she's actually dating this other guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're the best friend. You're the guy best friend.
Yeah. Like, that's like what it is. Yeah. That's what it was.
It happens a lot.
That's like seeing that. I'm like I remember one time I was like sitting in lunch and like I saw like a dude just like holding the girl like kind of like the whole like Titanic pose type shit. And I was kind of like, oh, that's such an odd match because I know the guy. He's a dick, right? And he was kind of like stupid. And the girl seems like a very like I never met her, but she seems really well thought out, just well. And I was kind of like, what an odd pair.
Yeah,
and like my friend was like, they're not together, man. And I was like,
there's like I think this is like something too, and I guess guys kind of do it too, but like I feel like when a guy does it, it's like super obvious and everyone knows what's going on. But like there's this super toxic thing that girls do where they complain about like their significant other to someone that they know likes them or someone that they have an interest in dating maybe later on. So they like create like this weird relationship where this guy that's really into her like doesn't like her boyfriend and is like also like it's just like this whole toxic thing that I don't think gets talked about nearly enough that like girls do. And like I guess guys do it sometimes, but as soon as like a guy complains about his girlfriend to another girl, I think everyone knows like, oh, we know what you're doing, we know that you're manipulating a situation to like get something else or something. But like when a girl does it, we're not like so keen on it.
Yeah, a lot of girls just say they don't know.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how do you not know? Like, everybody else, their mother knows. Like, how do you not know?
Yeah. So I mean that's something that's super toxic that happens, but like at the same time it's like when this happens in high school it's like nobody knows, nobody has emotional intelligence, like your brain isn't fully developed yet. Like dude, I don't blame anyone that is
I just
doing
had
that.
like a realization.
Whoa, what's up?
A friend of mine did this to me and I was like, I don't like your boyfriend, why are you talking to me? Like I don't really fucking care for y'all's problems.
Yeah.
Like, and she kept talking to me about it and I was like, dude, like I don't like your boyfriend. Automatically, my opinion's gonna be biased towards that guy.
Yeah.
Why are you coming to me for the bad side? Go to somebody that doesn't know y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
And then you can
or
put
like,
your biased opinions
to, like,
in him.
Your girlfriends, or talk to like someone that you're not interested in.
Like I don't care.
That
like,
isn't interested in you and stuff. So.
Don't care.
So y'all think guys and girls can be like legit just friends?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a very thin line.
I think so too, but I think it could be done. A
lot has to happen. Like a lot of like, you have to meet a lot of things. Like both can't be attracted to each other, really, or like if they are, they can have to be like really mature people, There's a lot of stuff you have to like click, and usually people don't click those things.
The girls that I'm friends with, it's like not even like a thought like about dating them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like a, oh, like, well, maybe. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
they're so
always just
fucking
like,
disgusting. Fuck, not
no, it's just like supernatural to just be friends, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's not even like
Yeah.
a thing.
I mean, there's always those people that you never see yourself with. They're
Yeah.
just around, and
Mhm.
like for me personally, I don't really see myself as having friends. I have a friend group,
Uh-huh.
and out of those people are really close to me.
Yeah.
Like Jose and Adrian, and like those people are close to me. But like other people that I talk to, I think I just had a class with them,
Mhm.
and that was purely just it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we play like COD on the weekends, or we stay up late like playing Valorant or some shit. You know,
Yeah.
Mm.
it's just like I just know them because either I had the answers for the test or I was, I have like answers for something.
Damn, dude, I haven't been in school in forever, like high school.
Dude, that's like the only reason I became friends with people. Like I became friends with people like people that are smart, and I was like,
I know, dude.
Yeah.
High school
fucking
is such a long
answers.
time ago now.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
Sebas no, but for us, it's like
Yeah.
forever.
I know.
Oh, I'm
we're
still in it,
we're
man. It's
approaching like 10
terrifying.
years or something since we've been out of high school, so.
I know.
Tight.
But yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Dick.
Old fucks,
But, like,
Why are you
man.
gonna bring this shit up, dude?
Bunch of old
See, like,
geezers.
honestly, like, stuff like that doesn't bother me, like, at all. Like,
I like getting old. I always thought about staying young, but I like getting
well,
old.
I don't like getting,
If
I
I
wouldn't say
get
I like
old,
getting old, per se.
no,
Oh,
if I get
I
if
get, I get,
if
like,
I get old, man, if I make it that far, I'll be like, that's sick.
but I
You're
feel
not
like,
old, bro.
because
I'm not old, but I'm saying getting there. Bro.
honestly, like, high school does feel like a long fucking time ago for me. You know, like, it feels like fucking forever ago. Like, there's so many people that I knew then that, like, I don't even, like, talk to now, like, at all and stuff. So it's like, it feels like such a long time ago.
Yeah, most people
So,
are
like,
boring.
when I'm like, oh, it's barely gonna be 10 years, it kind of makes sense. I don't get really,
I
like,
guess.
hung up on that. So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mostly stayed in contact with everybody I talked to in high school.
really, no, not me,
Yeah.
not really. So,
I mean, shit, I
I mean,
lived
other
with
than
two of
you,
them.
but that's it.
No,
Yeah.
like even being in high school, seeing what like Leah and like my other nephews are going through in school, I kind of don't even remember that. Like
Hmm.
elementary, like you're learning about this in that
I
grade.
don't remember elementary.
Oh, of course not. But I'm
I
just
remember
saying, like, cause you're old as
elementary.
shit. But like,
You just remember JoJo and his pants, right?
Oh, yeah.
nothing but cheeks that day. Holy fuck!
It's hard not to remember that, dude. It's such a
Damn,
weird
you've
sight.
seen both gaps.
I've seen both slits.
Oh god! Ew! No, no.
Oh,
Why?
oh
Why?
fuck! Pee pee
Um,
hole.
Anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something else. Oh, so Memo had brought up if friends or if guys and girls can be friends. Do you guys think that you could be friends with an ex?
It depends.
Because that one I'm kind of against. Like, if someone comes to me and be like, "Hey, should I be friends with my ex?" I'd be like, "No."
It depends.
Like, no. I wouldn't even answer it depends. It does depend, but I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say that, like, at all.
I would
wouldn't say that
agree.
either.
I would agree that it's most likely a no.
Mm-hmm.
You're really fighting a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
like you're really. I don't know. It's too much of a mess, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like one of those questions. Like, if you're asking, do you really think you should do it?
Yeah, no.
Like, for me-
like, if someone asked me that, like, then,
Like, if you're gonna come to me and saying like, "Oh, can I be friends with my ex?" I'm gonna be like, if I know this relationship, like if you told me about this, right, like super deep and stuff, I'm probably gonna say no
yeah,
because I knew how you felt, and I know like it could just be like now. But like for me, it's like I can be friendly, but I'm not gonna talk to you every fucking day. I
See-
don't care about it.
And usually, the person who is not going to be affected by it isn't even going to ask.
yeah,
They're just going to be like, "Oh yeah, we're friends," you know, because that's all I see this person now as, or like my feelings have mostly passed, you know. So the person usually asking this is the person who's like down bad in the friendship.
yeah.
Bringing it back to our
For
topic.
sure.
you
Yeah,
know? So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, but
I wouldn't either. But I'm
I've
not gonna be
heard,
a
like-
dick. I'm just gonna be like, yo, like, don't
Yeah.
talk to me.
I've heard of like weird situations of like divorces and stuff, and you know they're still friends or like they hang out with like their new
I've
wives
always
and
thought
shit.
it was like, I've
Or new
always
wives
thought
and
that was
husbands.
weird. Yeah,
I was
I
kind
don't
of
know.
like, this guy beat you, bro. This guy beat you.
I don't know.
I don't know
That's
about that.
weird.
That was-
Just call him out. Like, this guy beat you. You're really gonna be friends with
Yeah.
him? You loser. Down
Yeah,
bad,
but
terrible. Down terrible. Not even down bad. Down terrible.
But anyway, so yeah, I think that's a really funny topic. I love the Twitter account, guys that are down bad. It's a great
Yeah.
Twitter account. Yeah, so go follow it. So anyway, last
Plug.
thing, the great deplatforming. So
That's the whole Donald Trump thing, right?
well, it's
Yeah.
not just Donald Trump. It was so Donald Trump got deplatformed on Twitter, right? I think this is super interesting
And everywhere.
because I don't know
Twitter,
how I quite
Facebook,
feel about it.
YouTube,
Yeah,
Twitch,
he's lost everything, right?
Shopify.
Also a bunch of like
Pornhub,
which is
the
the
most
strangest
important
one.
one.
I know. But like I feel like a bunch of other people also got deplatformed too, alongside of him, like a bunch of other right wing people.
Even like deplatforming is like, would that be the same thing as kind of like a shadow ban kind of thing?
Sure. I don't know. I
I
feel
don't know
like
if shadow
I
bans.
feel like shadow bans are kind of like a conspiracy. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Right?
really
It's
believe
kind
in
of
them.
weird. It's like the people that usually bring it up are the ones that weren't relevant for like a long time.
Yeah, or there's
And then now that they're trying to come back,
really,
they're like, "Oh, I think I'm being shadow banned by the, you know."
yeah, or they haven't really been popular in a while or something. Like they've been
Yeah.
losing popularity in
It's
general.
like they're trying to give themselves an excuse.
A weird fish has been shadow banned.
We've been shadow banned, damn it.
We've been shadow banned.
But,
Everybody cancel
we've been
everything
shadow
now.
banned because we have simp in our name. That's why.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't know.
Would you
How
even
do you
say
guys
the
how do you
words?
guys feel about the platform? How do you feel about Trump being taken off Twitter, and how do you feel about all that?
I'm fairly new to Twitter. I don't even go on it. I downloaded it. I was on it a day, and then I haven't even checked it. I got a notification right now saying something.
How do you feel, Memo?
It's from the
Um,
UFC.
How do I feel about a sitting president being deplatformed from a social media site? Fuck, pass. I don't know.
Okay, I'll give my perspective. So like a few years ago, I would have been like, "This is a disgrace. This is awful. I hate this. I'd like this is a free speech issue. Like freedom of speech is the most important right that we have as Americans. This is awful. Like how could we do this?" But I think since my social media break, I don't really care. Like, listen, I'll be honest. I think the social media, like, it hasn't even been a break. It's just sort of happened naturally. I don't know what it was. I just like weaned myself off, but like, I just don't go on anymore. And like, if it's strange to be like in the spot where it's like I don't really use a site like at all, like for anything, and to hear people like, and like to and like be like happy about it. Like I feel like it's done like wonders for my mental health and like been like great for me not to be on it all the time. And it feels weird to have people mad that they're not allowed to go on it. You know, especially when like these people are like always complaining about it. Like all they do is like yell about Twitter. Like all Trump does is yell about how stupid Twitter is and how like they're corrupt and this and that and the other thing.
False
And like a bunch of his
news.
lackeys do it too, and how they're like left wing and stuff like that. And it's just like, then why are you on it? Like, and now you're off, and it's like,
Twitter
I
fingers
don't know.
for
It's
sure.
just it's
Okay.
weird to have this perspective now. I don't know.
I see an issue with the right wing, specifically with the idea of a company being able to do basically whatever they want for the most part.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as they do something against them, it's automatically like, oh, we need to like regulate this whole industry.
Yeah.
Another thing, First Amendment only applies to the government.
No, yeah.
Does not apply to Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, like these private companies that get to decide who's on their platform or not. Now,
And it also feels weird for when people like argue like, oh well, it's a public, or it's like a public square or something like that. And it's like, I don't know if it is, because like most people aren't even on Twitter. I
Yeah.
think it's like only 30%. You'll have to fact check this, but I think it's only like 30% of Americans have a Twitter account, and of like tweets, it's like 99% of tweets are only done by like 1% of the users or something. Like it's
yeah. No, I mean, I don't think they're public squares, and they're not legally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's the most important thing. And they want to, if Republicans are coming at me with like, you know, I'm going against Republicans a lot this podcast, but I'm not a Democrat or anything. It's important stuff. But if a Republican is coming at me with, oh, we want to make these a public square, you know, it's like, It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, you never cared about you would never do this if it wasn't against you.
Yeah.
You know?
And
But how do I feel?
they hate Twitter. All they do is
Yeah.
talk about Twitter, and a bunch of people talk about how
Twitter,
damaging
Facebook
it is
too.
for mental health. And all I hear, and like, listen, like, I know a lot of like right wingers, and I think I defended you enough today. But like, all they do is complain about how terrible it is for like young people, and it does horrible things for your self esteem, and it's just awful. And it's like, and then when they get kicked off, they're like, well, wait, hold on, wait, we want to be on Twitter too, and we're complaining about not being on Twitter now. And it's like, God, like,
Yeah.
because I remember when what's that Netflix documentary, the freaking, what is it called? I don't know. It's like the social something. It's on Netflix. It was a real popular documentary that came out, and it talked about how like awful social media is for you and for your kids and everything, right? And like all around me were like these right wing people like, oh my gosh, social media is so terrible, it's so awful, and yet they're complaining because they can't get on it. It's a weird thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, for anybody like a right winger who comes at me is like, hey, when you do this, I'm like, let the market decide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the market does, like, that's ultimately what they want, right? What they would, therefore, what their principles would want is let the market decide.
Yeah.
I don't believe what I think Twitter should be. Like, if I was Jack Dorsey, right? Like, the way he talks about Twitter, and granted, he's a weird character.
Yeah.
But the way he talks about Twitter, I would have never moved forward with banning Trump.
Uh-huh.
You know, if he talks about this like space to like create free speech and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you try to limit some of the bad stuff, but for the most part, you know, it's free, you know, I wouldn't do it. And he's even come out and said that he agrees with the decision, but he understands that it sets a dangerous precedent, right? And I think that's something where it comes down to. It's like, these are private companies, and if right wingers are really that angry about it, don't go on Twitter. You know, same thing with Parler. Parler's getting deplatformed from Apple.
I think,
don't buy an Apple phone.
Yeah. Well, Google Store also kicked them off theirs too. So
you can get stores on Androids.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
other
Yeah.
which
yeah.
is like the cool thing about Google with the Android stuff with their marketplace.
I will say that I think that's a little bit weirder. I know I've heard, right, I think like Alex Jones complained about this once and stuff like that, and he said like at some point, like, what if like a bank starts saying like, hey, we don't want to like give you money, or you can't use our app for like money anymore because of like something you said, or like because of your beliefs or something. Like, is like, I don't know, I feel like we're maybe a stone throws away from that. I think that's a little weird to like, I don't know, but maybe I'm just like,
you'd have to make banks a public utility kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it ultimately comes down to. And then it's weird because it's against what Republicans think, you know, like it's against their principles. I mean, this is what you'd have to do. Same thing with like making the internet a public utility. You know, like if you want to regulate it, you have to make it a government thing. You know, for the most part, if you want to regulate it like this, it's like a free speech thing. You know,
yeah. The government would basically have to own it. You know.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that if that ever happened, like a bank would be like, we don't want your business. You know, but it's probably going to happen. You know, I mean, Shopify, whatever the fuck that is, Pornhub, like these places don't really have anything to do with free speech. They're just basically, you just like take stuff in, you know, like Spotify. They banned them.
Yeah.
Too, you know.
Yeah.
And they're just brownie points. That's all they are.
Yeah. But,
you know?
but I will say this, like, as far as like Twitter being a platform, I like, you know, Joe Rogan probably has one of the biggest voices on the internet. Maybe the biggest voice on the internet. Who knows, you know? And he's not on Twitter at all. I know we've complained about in the past how like his Twitter account sucks because like all he links is to his Instagram. It's just awful. Like it's terrible. And this guy has like probably one of the biggest like voices on the internet, if not the biggest. So I don't also buy this idea that like, oh, well, you know, Twitter's where your livelihood is. Now, maybe if you're a journalist or you're someone like that, but I mean, if you're Trump, like you don't make your living on Twitter. And if you do, then I mean, you know, you should have, I don't know, you should have done something a little different with your life. Yeah.
But I don't know, Sebas, what do you think?
Yeah, Sebas,
you're
you're
young.
On this one.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. he wasn't he saying a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was. He
With
was.
the whole
He
capital thing, he
and
was all like, "Brothers, like, thank
he
you for
said he
fighting for
said
your
he loved
country."
them on his video to them.
Yeah, it's really fucking awkward, man. Like he's really biting into this whole with the whole QAnon folk and
and
shit
I
like that.
think, and to be fair, also it's like, if any like normal person would have done what like has said, like any, like I think Sam Harris said this, like if anyone had said like what Trump had, like a third of like what Trump has said, like they would have been kicked off like immediately, you know. Like I know Destiny's been
Yeah.
like banned, and like all these like prominent figures have been banned like all the time for like whatever, and it's like, you
Well,
know,
yeah, but
and Trump has never gotten it, you know.
but I mean, it's because he's president.
Yeah, that's
I
literally
mean,
the only
It's the
reason why.
title.
who knows what would have happened after after he gets out of office? You know,
Yeah,
who knows if he would have been banned or not? I mean,
Yeah.
this is like, I like dealing in like nuance. You know, so yeah, generally most people would be banned, but I mean, most people aren't the president of the United States.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's ultimately where I think I do think that I understand why they did it. I mean, he was basically, I wouldn't say he's trying to do another one, but he was like kind of egging them on.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, like continue to where? Wasn't it? Didn't he like say something? Like I'm
Well, no,
gonna
he
hold a
said,
rally.
well, he did one originally before the riots where he was like, I know you guys are going to storm the Capitol or something like that.
Yeah, and look for
But
weak Republicans or something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. What is it like for all the strong Republicans that are on my side?
Yeah.
Let's all go and to the weak Republicans that are not on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get why they're doing that. Now, I've heard people on the left be like, so Jack, you could have, from Twitter, you could have banned him this whole time. And it's like, no, he couldn't have, because of the principles of what the company's trying to espouse to.
Yeah.
You know, they took a lot to get him banned, and that's a good thing. You know, a lot of like people on the left would be like, "Oh, we wanted him banned a long time ago," and it's like, well, it's a good thing that it took this much to get him banned.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
they could just be trigger happy with anybody else.
Yeah, I don't want Twitter to become this place where like Republicans automatically get banned. You know, like there has to be something there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if Twitter's supposed to be what it says it is, then you have to do something to get banned. You have to say something really bad to get banned. It's not just because. See, I don't even think being racist necessarily is a bannable offense. Like, I think if you're saying the N-word and you're just banning it, you know, maybe that's an issue. But
or
like,
or you're like calling someone the N-word over and over again. You're harassing
but
someone.
If you bring up something like, hey, people of color have lower IQ than white people usually, and some people would consider that racist, right? Like, I don't think you should be banned for that.
Interesting.
You know, like I don't think just because you don't like me here, you should be banned. IQ is a discussion for another time.
I think there's a really great the Joe Rogan episode with him, Jack, and Tim Pool and some lady from Twitter. I think is actually like a great like Joe Rogan episode, because I think it really shows how like someone on the right, like Tim Pool, even though he's like more of like on the center, but I mean I think he's probably more on the right. He's like, it just shows like the different realities that they're living in, honestly, where, because they argue about like the gender stuff, like Twitter's just like, yeah, you know, we want to be like an inclusive place, and you know that's why we allow for I don't know, they allow for like some, like you could pick like your gender like a certain way or something like that, or oh no, if you misgender someone on Twitter, it's a bannable offense is what they're talking about and stuff, and their whole thing was like, oh well, you know, we just want an inclusive environment and we don't want you to be like harassing someone. And Tim Pool was like, yeah, but like if you're someone that just doesn't believe that there are other genders and you just believe that there's just two genders, then you don't live by the principle that it's offensive or something, and what do you do there? And you know, it's just an interesting conversation that they have about like, you know, just this gathering place of a bunch of like diverse people that come from totally different walks of life and stuff. I don't know, it was a good episode, but yeah, it's real interesting.
Again, you say like a bannable offense, I'm okay with that, as long as there's nuance. Like there's somebody like somebody reports something and they go in there and they look at it and they're like, okay, were you just being like a complete dick just to like harass somebody? Or were you trying to have a conversation? Or was just like a misunderstanding? Or like, And another again, there's safeguards on Twitter. You could block people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get harassed constantly.
Yeah, I've never quite understood that. Like, and there's this weird thing on Twitter. I've always thought this was strange, but like there's like a weird like people like get happy whenever they're banned by someone or something. Like they post like, "Oh, look at who banned me" or something like that, and I'm always like, that's so weird. So like, why do you have that as a badge of honor? Yeah. I don't know. I've always thought that was strange.
It's like, oh, you're banned from Destiny.
Yeah.
Who fucking asked?
I don't know.
I got banned by Wings for Redemption.
Oh yeah, but you're harassing him.
Wait, like ban? You were harassing him.
Some people deserve to be harassed. I've said this multiple times.
But
Same thing with my bullying things. And bullying is good sometimes.
Yeah. So.
Right, Sebas?
What?
Bullying is good.
Oh, I think it builds character, man.
Yeah. You could tell we grew up from the same household.
Yeah, in some way. Yeah, I feel like if Memo didn't bully me, I'd be like a bitch.
I didn't bully you. What?
You say that. That's how I saw it.
How come you didn't bully me more, Memo? Maybe I wouldn't have chased after a girl for, 6 years.
Being so fucking passive. Jesus Christ.
Made me feel bad about bullying you.
What are you talking about? No, you didn't. No, I didn't. Did I?
Nah, I don't know. I think I was going through stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. In other words, just didn't care.
I know.
No,
that's what I
not
heard. I know, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
I don't know. Sebas, okay, so you're younger than us, right?
Uh-huh.
You haven't really known a life outside of social media.
Basically, yeah.
So, like, I can remember a time where like cell phones weren't necessarily like a thing. Like they were a thing, like people had them, but they weren't like the phones we have now. Like you couldn't use TikTok. You couldn't like videos were like super grainy and shit. And I remember we used to have the damn touchpad ones where like you had to click them multiple times to get letters. We were like,
that was my first phone. So it was cool as fuck.
I had DSL. Is that what it's called? DSL, right? Yeah, the internet.
The internet, yeah.
Dial-up, yeah. Had that. That was interesting. Like we're like, I guess technically people lump us in there with them,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Sebas' generation has gone through it a lot more than we have. When I was a kid, I didn't have an iPad on my feet.
Yeah.
I was like a small child.
Oh, dude. I mean, I hate that.
You have a small child at your feet?
No, I don't have a small child. That was weird. Anyways, moving on. Before that, somebody clips that. So my question to you is about, so like, well, you're kind of different though, because you weren't on Twitter. You barely got on Facebook.
Like a month ago.
Yeah, you're mostly just on Instagram and Snapchat, right? Right.
Yeah.
So like, what do you want from these social media sites? Do you want them? Do you care if they're like a free speech thing? Do you think your friends care?
I mean, I want to say some like stupid ass shit in my caption sometimes. I mean, not like stupidly racist. Just say pee pee poo poo check and be like fucking happy that that's my fucking caption, But
Yeah.
I really don't care, man. Like if it's free speech, like if my free speech gets taken away like that, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? What's the whole point of having this shit if I can't be funny or stupid, right? Online.
Well, see, I don't think anybody's gonna ban you for saying pee pee poo poo check yet.
No, exactly. But like, if you're saying something that's,
but like, okay, like let's say
if you're quick to ban somebody because you don't like what they said, like, it's kind of fucking.
What
weird.
about was it PogChamp or something?
Oh yeah, because the guy was like an anti-vax person or anti-vaxxer.
Like, what if the guy that made the pee poo poo check thing like turned out to be like horrifically racist or something, Then like it's like, oh, that gets like taken off of everything. Like,
yeah, it's since it was Simps and Virgin. That was like the thing with Twitch.
Yeah. Oh, remember
they're like you can't.
Off. Oh,
yeah,
it's like, I'm calling it out. I'm adjusting.
Oh.
It's like you can't.
You can still tell your camera's not off.
I don't have pants.
You can't call somebody a simp if you're like saying it in a harsh way, or a virgin. But it's like, what's the whole point of talking shit? You're playing a game, or like with the deer lady on Twitch. That was like, you could tell this person's a cisgender male.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. I feel like you're putting too much into
I mean, the real problem here is a resource problem, honestly. Because Twitter cannot hire enough people to keep track of like every single thing that every single person would do. Also, that might even be like a privacy issue. Like, imagine if every person that uses Twitter got like its own like person to like make sure that they never said anything racist. So what they do is they make these algorithms that are so broad that'll like catch something that has nuance on like a hot take and mark that as racist, you know? Like that's really the issue here, is that these algorithms just aren't sophisticated enough to catch that, to catch nuance. You know, they're just like, they just capture like whatever has like something bad in it. Where whoever sent that is banned, you know?
So like therefore everything today is basically walking on a thin line.
Yeah. So I mean, there are a few things that are gonna, but I will say that the Pog champ kind of like, I would say that like probably like maybe a little like oof, like, you know, because it's like,
Yeah. Even the
like
people that were there, they're like,
because that was like
um,
that was a human decision to like do that, you know, which I like, you know, because I don't think like an algorithm caught that and was like, no, like that was that was a decision that someone at Twitch made. So the question is like, are these algorithms going to get better, or are our capacity to understand nuance going to get worse, if that makes sense, you know?
The second,
maybe
You
it'll
think
get
that's
like,
what it's going to be?
maybe it's gonna get like bit in the ass. Like, you asked for this.
Yeah. Where
It might
even
have just
if
gone
like,
too far.
where like even
We're
just
like,
like asking a question about a hot take is going to be viewed as,
see,
yeah, I think.
I
I feel like we're there already in some way.
look, I mostly align with people on the right when they see like there's like a left bias towards social media and the news, right? And I hate it because the right is like the most stupidest people I've ever met. Sometimes, like, they're idiots,
yeah, no.
and they
Yeah.
and they come from like a place of like, oh, I want to espouse this like weird racist take that I have,
Yeah.
you know. And but people on the left, they're super dogmatic
Mm-hmm.
about the way they think, and they think like even bringing up questions is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But me saying that automatically puts me as like a conservative.
Yeah.
When I don't really think of myself as a conservative, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I think ultimately, since it's so left dominated, right, it's going to become a place of just a lack of nuance.
Uh-huh.
It's going to become like an echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's already kind of that, you know? You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
like if we ever become big, you know, and we say something that somebody considers racist or misogynist or whatever, you know, I mean, we're likely to face consequences for it, you know. I don't know.
And then we'll have to be on Parlor. So
Parlor, yeah,
Dude, but
Parlor's
like,
stupid, dude.
for me,
I've never been
for
on
me
Parler.
personally,
I had never heard of
don't-
it until they canceled it.
I never heard of it till like right now.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it's like I'm pretty sure I've said before that I don't care about politics, and Memo's always retort with like, politics are important, man. But it's like, I know they're important, but there's like a lot of people that like say some stupid ass shit on both sides.
You should care
And
about politics. Politics literally is everything.
I know, it's literally. I mean, we've used that as an insult. What was it on Valorant? It causes like, you play like a Republican. And then like, and some people that are on the right side, they're like, "Oh, you're a blue hair liberal."
Yeah,
whatever the fuck that means.
like, I mean, you have that shit, but I mean, like, politics. The reason I tell you to care about politics is because you're getting older. You're gonna get to vote, you know, and you're gonna have to vote for whoever you believe in, whoever you like, not believe in, whoever you think is right for most things, right?
Or whoever you think represents you.
Yeah, and it's gonna affect everything from like taxes to COVID response to how the world sees the U.S. You know,
Going with the COVID response, do you think somebody else in that position would have handled this better?
for Trump,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah. This was
Not a
like
doubt.
a disaster.
Oh yeah,
This
we're
was
saying
really
all
bad.
the shit that's like, oh, we have it under control, or like it's not here. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
That was
not
pretty
it's not under control. This has been like one of the worst years I think a president has ever had,
See,
maybe.
I
He's
just
been
wish-
down bad. He's been down bad.
down
From this.
I just wish he was more honest about it. Honestly,
Yeah, because
I mean, honestly, what the way I think they think about it is a numbers to numbers game, right? Is like how much are we willing to lose in the economy versus human life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they can't say that on TV because it sounds terrible, you know.
Mhm.
Although our great lieutenant governor almost said it, or basically said it at one point. But
What
most
was it? What did he say
smart
again?
Republicans aren't stupid enough to say it. He said that old people are willing to give their life for the economy.
Yeah, he said that, which is even stupider than what you said.
Yeah, but like most Republicans aren't that dumb. But that's basically what they're doing. You know, it's the idea of how much of the economy are you willing to give up for a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if 1 million Americans were dying a day, we would be shut down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we're at 30,000. That's a number they're okay with.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what it is. Yeah, and I've always said, in politics, you sometimes have to make those tough decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't agree with this decision specifically, but I know like sooner or later, like we're going to go to war with another country sooner or later, right? And at one point, somebody's going to make a really terrible decision.
We have to.
You know?
Either way, we're bored. We need something.
I just wish there was more honesty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
man. Say you just want me to like give my life up for this country.
So you
I'm
think
fine.
that like if Trump came out and said, "Hey, listen, look, we could either shut down the economy and it crashes, or we like partially shut down and like a lot of people die," and he said basically what you said, but like at least we're okay, moving forward. Do you think if he came out like that, he would be like, "All right"?
No, I think personally he'd be better with me. I don't think overall, no. Overall, no. Overall, he gets shitted on. But Trump's going to get shitted on regardless.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's like a lose-lose in a kind of way.
I think the shittiest thing that happened, though, was when that audio tape came out that
With Georgia?
I think that, like...
Yeah.
No, well, not just that one, but but the one that came out earlier, I thought that what the journalist did was kind of slimy, but like... He knew in like December that like, yeah, we know this is going to be like pretty terrible, because like our biggest problem at the beginning of this was like testing. Like we had like 0 tests, like there were no tests anywhere, like nobody like knew. And then like it took like a month before we finally got testing in order, and we still don't have it in order. I mean, me and Memo just got tested. It fucking sucks. So it's like, but if you knew in December, he could have been like, hey, let's at least ratchet up testing. And that's not like something that he had to go through Congress to do. Like that's just something he could have done himself. And so that
he's just incompetent at that point. At that point, he was just incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, I mean, I'm thinking more like the governor of like Texas and like governor of Florida as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really have thought of it like a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Texas is opening up and so is Florida.
Yeah.
But as Sebas, like I was thinking about politics, is like super interesting stuff. So I mean, right now, like you don't think like Korea and China are looking at us being down bad?
Every country is looking at us being down bad. Like developing countries are looking at this shit like they're either looking at us like in a way like of like for the betterment of themselves, or like what was I gonna say? Fuck. They're just looking at us to see what to do and what not to do. Yeah. Basically like the broad way of just saying
it.
Yeah. So like if Korea were to attack us, right, and we go into a war during a pandemic, you imagine, right? And like
that should be like suicide right there.
And it's probably going to be a war of attrition, so it'll probably be there for years. The way that warfare is done right now, right? And then we're not going to get the pandemic under control at that point. It's just going to spread, and even if we have the vaccine, it's still probably going to spread. And then there's going to be another issue, another type of virus that comes along in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Like when you everything revolves around politics.
Well, I mean, like wasn't there like a disease around like Vietnam?
Bro, the music you listen to revolves around politics.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's definitely some political shit.
The
Especially like the Doors.
The
Lone Soldier. It's like most of the time about like the Vietnam War and shit like that.
Yeah.
So.
Because it was really weird because like his dad was like a Navy admiral in Vietnam War.
It became like a Big Brother talk, but I'm sorry.
No, I'm learning stuff too.
But yeah, no,
next Big Brother.
I think everybody should care more about politics, specifically local politics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When I say I don't, the whole thing I don't care is just kind of like the whole like. A lot of people are hypocritical, and it's kind of just like, it gets annoying to a certain degree when it's like, oh, there's this new person that might be like the way. But in my head, it's like in a couple months, he's either gonna say something really stupid on Twitter, or something really stupid is gonna happen around him or her.
I mean, there's a couple people that are like, you may not agree with everything they say, but they seem genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, Bernie Sanders strikes out as one.
Andrew
You know,
Yang.
Andrew Yang. Yeah. Like I think about Bernie Sanders specifically because I was waiting for him to fall on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, this guy seems too good to be true. Even though I don't agree with everything he says, like he just seems too genuine for his own good. But so far he's been relatively great.
far he's like near the end of his trip, man.
Well,
He's
that's
like
what
old as shit.
I mean, he's had years to fuck up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, the man could have voted for the war in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it was super easy to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's some. They're hard to find, but there's some.
It's like I've seen stuff that he said in like the 70s and stuff that's like really dumb, but that was like back in the 70s. Like, you know, who cares what he said at that point? You know.
Yeah,
So,
but my biggest thing when it comes to politicians is, are they genuine?
Mm-hmm.
And most politicians are not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my issue with Hillary Clinton. What is it? She lied for everything. Like, I mean, as long as it like helped her numbers, she would lie about it.
Yeah.
You know,
What email account?
it wasn't even stuff like that. It was like crime bills and like her whole stance on homosexuality and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like there's like always like those videos, like with Biden. Recently, it's just like what is it like him being openly racist, like in 2000 and something.
Look, man, the amount of people who actually voted for Biden are minuscule to the amount of people who voted against Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't even know what that word means. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
Minuscule.
it just means like small. I'm just saying, like, I think you should care more.
Yeah. So let's care more.
Because the people who care a lot right now are usually I don't want to say the dumbasses, but people that are super dogmatic, like
Yeah.
your super right wing friend or your super lefty friend, you know. So I don't know.
He doesn't care.
I don't know. People.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care at all.
I mean, I'm not gonna be disingenuous about that. I'm not gonna like. It's because like some people that I know, right, who are speaking about this, don't really know themselves. Like you could. Like,
Sounds like
just
something Jordan Peterson would say right there.
I don't know. It's just like they're repeating what they see every day, but that's basically everybody else.
No, yeah,
You know?
but I think there's a difference between like saying, okay, they don't probably know, but I'm going to hear them and then figure out what I think I know, versus just like throwing your hands up and being like, well, nobody knows. You know, like there's a balance there you have to kind of hit. I think it's real easy not to care about stuff. It's super easy, and trust me,
fucking easy.
It's probably the best way to live in certain regard. You know, but like if you care about people, if you care about people around you, you need to care. You know, like I mean, shit. I mean, I don't know, just everything.
If you care about Memo Sebas, you would follow politics better.
Yeah.
No. At that point, it just feels like what is it?
Yeah.
Shaming, like guilt tripping somebody.
It's not shaming. It's not.
That's just how I feel.
I mean,
the way some people portray it, it's like
you could say it's guilt tripping. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't think necessarily because the word has negative connotations, it's a bad thing. You could say it's guilt tripping. Yeah. You want to care about your older brother? Care about politics. It's fine with me. Guilt tripping is good sometimes.
Yeah. He's gaslighting me, chat.
I don't know. There's a great philosopher called Meinlander. He's a German philosopher. Absolutely hated life. He ended up killing himself. He thought it was like the worst thing in the world. He thought like suicide was the only answer to the suffering.
What was his name? Meinlander?
Meinlander. Super negative, right? That guy was super into politics, and he contradicted everything he would write. I think his first name was Philip Meinlander. And everybody was always super confused because they were like, you say like the world is like the worst thing in the world and there's no point and blah, blah, blah. He spent most of his life like trying to make everybody else's life better, you know? So I think that's like ultimately where you kind of, I don't think you need to like, you know, think about killing yourself every day like he did, but you need to care about, you know, the people around you and how to make the world better, but also understanding that it probably doesn't matter ultimately, you know. People die. Time,
yeah.
You know, I mean,
people
like,
die, man.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. This is a whole other thing we could probably. I don't know. I don't know if you want to get into this, but like, I see that a lot in a lot of young people is like this nihilism, which kind of leads into like the dogma of becoming into politics and stuff, you know. So like Jordan Peterson, you know, I know he's kind of like the person that everybody makes fun of now, you know, but he brings up a good point when he talks about how people like they don't really understand a lot of the things. They just kind of like attach themselves to certain like philosophies and ideas without really thinking about them. And I see that a lot with like younger people. There's like a nihilism. And granted, older people are just stupid. They don't have enough nihilism in their lives. But like I see that like it's like you just don't care. You know? I think that's really dangerous for young kids to have like a lot of nihilism in their hearts.
What exactly even is nihilism?
It's just thinking that there's no meaning to anything.
I'd say there's a healthy bit of that in me.
No, I see that's the truth. There probably is no meaning to anything. That doesn't mean you shouldn't care.
Pretty sure most people just try to give meaning to their own lives most of the
time. Yeah.
That's basically the whole point of life to most people.
Yeah. I don't know why that's turned into a philosophy podcast, but
that's what I see.
How do we even get here? We're talking about the great platform.
Dude, I would really like philosophy, man, if I cared enough to read about shit. I really want to read books now,
it's
honestly.
really complicated.
After reading that book that I got. Even though it's just like about the doors, like I really want to read it more.
If anybody wants to get into philosophy, I would say to stay away from source material.
Like what?
Stay away from source material.
What's that?
So like if you want to learn about Mindlander, right? There's hardly any translations out there, but there's a couple now. Don't go read the translations off the bat.
Okay.
Read like an interpretation of it, right? Get an idea of what he's trying to say, then go back and read it. Because if you go in there blind, a lot of people who haven't read a lot of source material will just be like, "This is confusing and boring as fuck."
But also don't go watch School of Life on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. Yeah. But I mean, if that's something that somebody's getting like their only philosophy.
Is that the right philosophy channel that I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're talking about the right one.
You know, man. Now that I think about it, basically the way I think is basically Memo.
Yeah.
Like, I would say Memo's like probably like my biggest like inspiration. My whole lifetime, right?
Aww.
Yeah, you can take it in a cute fucking way, you idiot. But I don't give a shit. Like the way I think.
Okay.
He's
like
nihilistic.
the way I think, man. I'll like say you're probably the forefront of it because I don't read books. I don't like do that shit.
I apologize.
No, man, fuck
no,
you,
no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I went through a lot of nihilism phase. Did you, Nick?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of going through it right now. Yeah.
Okay, well, I would stay a little away from it, but I think existentialism is probably randomly. And people have issues with existentialism, even saying that word.
Who's that? Albert Camus.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was asking what's existentialism.
And it's like saying postmodernism. It's like you say that and it's like a buzzword, and everybody's ears perk up and they start like rolling their eyes and shit.
Yeah.
But I think there's like something
it's an ism.
To understanding that there's probably no meaning to anything, but that doesn't mean it's like the worst thing in the world. You know, I think there's a lot of power to that. So if anybody wants to know more about this, I recommend the greatest Nazi to ever live, Nietzsche. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Didn't they teach all of his works though, like to Nazis?
Yeah, well, it's complicated. so there's a lot of stuff in there.
Dude, Jim Morrison.
Well, again, Nazis used his work because his sister was a Nazi. If Friedrich Nietzsche was a Nazi, I don't know specifically if he would have been one or not. It's possible. I mean, he was German, you know, like most Germans were Nazis. So it's possible, but they did use a lot of his teachings. But
dude,
again,
speaking about Jim Morrison,
you know, like Lars von Trier once said, I'm just kidding.
No, don't.
I'm just kidding. But it's a joke. I think it's a joke.
Yeah.
But it's just
there are a lot of other people that use Nietzsche's teaching for the good of the world. You know.
Yeah, Memo.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of people in history that are like that, though.
Yeah.
Like I think they removed the Thomas Jefferson thing from the White House.
Did they?
Is that true?
I don't know. You're the fact checker, Memo.
Congress or something. They did something. I don't remember. Something to Thomas Jefferson.
I mean, what is it? A bunch of like college campuses wanted to like take down statues of people because they were probably most definitely slave owners in their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we gonna talk about that?
I don't know. You guys want to?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a different time. Like that time, slave owners were just an everyday normal thing in the South, I guess. And even in the North, there's some slave owners.
I think it's a slippery slope to apply morals that you have now, and I think the people that do it are significantly miscalculating how future generations are gonna look at us. You know, like I don't know, like what if like veganism or something catches on like hardcore, you know? And it's like anyone that ate meat is essentially a murderer, you know? And it's like all of a sudden all of us are going to be murderers, you know? And is that fair? No, it's not. So I don't know. I think people that are, what is this, moral relativism, right, Memo? I'm not
people that eat meat, so murderers. It's veganism, deforestation.
Yeah. So it's a slippery slope that I think people that sort of believe that way are totally unaware of and that are miscalculating significantly.
Yeah,
although I do think it, like I went like the school I went to college in, there was a middle school right next to us that was called Robert E. Lee Middle School. And I was like, stuff like that is weird. Like that's weird. That probably shouldn't exist. But I'm talking more like on a nuanced take, like taking down like if what Memo was saying is true about taking down like a Thomas Jefferson statue or something. It's like, okay, yeah, like so I'm okay with taking down like a Robert E. Lee, like changing the name of the school, which I think they're doing now. But yeah, it was like,
see, I'm okay with moving stuff to a museum. Mm-hmm. I really don't have issues with that. You know, like history changes, you learn from it. You know, you don't want to have it causing an issue for some people. Now, okay, look, I'll say this. I've heard people say this. I've heard people say, I am a black individual. I have a black kid, right? When we walk down the park or whatever and we see this racist statue, we cry a little bit or we hurt or whatever. Really? Like,
is your implicit bias, Memo, coming in?
Really? Play? Like, I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that's like, this is really what's bothering you? Like, really, this is, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, it strikes me. I hate that. I hate when people do that. It's like, this is, I don't know. You know, bullying's okay sometimes. Now, if you want to say, hey, we're moving on from the racial past and he was a racist and we're moving to a museum, I'm okay with that. You know, like, I don't think like little kids are looking at the statue of, I don't know, some random Confederate general and they're like, that person killed my ancestors. I just don't think people, I don't know. I just think it's weird.
Yeah. No, so like, I think like the school changing its name from Robert E. Lee to something better or something else, I think is totally cool, and I'm totally in
Lee Robert.
Because I think it's weird to name your school Robert E. Lee. Like, come the fuck on, like really? But
Robert,
it's not something that should have been done in the first place. But like,
I have issues with like states having Confederate flags in their flags.
Yeah, that's weird.
Or like having the Confederate flag like up on somewhere in state property.
But I do have a problem with like, I remember TV programs didn't want to show the Dukes of Hazzard because the car's name in that show is the General Lee, and it's like, well, come on, get over it. Like that's kind of dumb. But like also maybe like changing your name of school is like okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's my take.
You're getting away from nuance, dude. That's my new script.
Huh?
I'm writing a script about the lack of.
Dude, you know? I just thought of a script. A while ago. We were talking about Twitter and stuff. You talk about Android, or you talk about how Google took them off that shit and did so did like Apple. I'm not talking about the script because like it has nothing to do with what we were talking about. But it's kind of like, it's just like he talked about the new script. I was like, do y'all ever just do that? Is that how y'all creative processes work?
Sure, why not?
Just like going through random shit and then in your mind, just one thing happens.
Yeah, just like clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck I do shit.
Me neither, man.
I'll be honest, dude. Like I'm just like flailing half the time, and then like something like I don't know. I remember heard David Lynch talk about like the origin of ideas. And he was trying his hardest to like say it, and he was at the end. He's just like, man, I don't know. It just happens.
That's
Yeah,
how
like,
I
I don't
mostly
know.
feel whenever someone's like,
He's like,
"How'd you
I'm
get to
David
this point in
fucking
your life?"
Lynch. That's how I
Yeah,
do
it's like
it.
my mind just works. Okay, like I'm gonna say this, and I might get in trouble for this if anybody ever hears this in the future. I think David Lynch is kind of dumb.
I
Like
forgot. What did he do?
Uh-huh.
What does he do?
he makes movies. He did like Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Lost Highway,
Yeah.
Blue Velvet. Great
Um,
movies.
yeah.
Great
Twin
movies.
Peaks.
Um, but like I've heard interviews with him and I've heard him talk, and he sounds like an like like Kanye. He's not okay. Granted, this is a bad because Kanye's kind of like super idiot.
Yeah.
But like this idea of like they're artists who feel more than they process like specific ideas.
Yeah.
Like he's not like Kubrick. Where
Yeah.
Kubrick, that's a working mind right there. Like that's somebody who's like constantly philosophizing everything he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Lynch feels the world and then represents that in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
He'll admit that. He'll be like, I don't know what some of this stuff means. It just makes sense to me,
Mm.
right? And then,
So
yeah,
maybe it's kind of
but
like I heard a comedian describe this once. I forget who, but he described like Dave Chappelle. He described him as like a smart guy who decided to become a comedian. A generally intelligent person that decided to become a comedian. But then he talked about Bill Burr about just like, yeah, he's just a funny guy. And I kind of feel like there's like a parallel there where it's like Kubrick is like the super intelligent guy who probably could have been like an astronaut or something else, but decided to become a filmmaker. And then David Lynch is just a talented filmmaker. Like he just,
yeah,
So
the man just feels art all the time. Yeah, wonder what his life was like.
I don't know. Time to read
David
his
Lynch or
memoirs.
Stanley Kubrick?
I guess both. I mean, but David Lynch he's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like he's legit fucked up. But like he chain smokes all the time, dude. Like nonstop. I'm surprised that man hasn't like gotten sick or anything.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
some people are.
What's
lucky.
your creative process, Sebas?
I don't really think I have one, man. If any idea I had, I probably just say it out loud, and then that's me. If I say something out loud, that would be out there forever. So therefore, I could stop thinking about it, and in 10 years from now, I could be like, that was the idea I had that one day. That's usually how my memory works. I don't remember most shit, but when I do remember something, it hits me for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a really weird thing with being creative. So I know there's like, so I think if you're creative and you don't have a way to work, you'll just never do anything.
Yeah.
Felt that.
There's like a professionalism that has to kind of click in at one point where you're just like, I'm going to wake up every morning and write 10 pages, no matter if they're shit, no matter if I'm not feeling it, and I'm just going to write. And later on, I'll go back and like take it out, But if you don't do that, you're just going to be stuck with an idea, and then you'll let it flourish. Then you'll get another idea, and you let that flourish, and then you never end up actually ever writing anything or doing anything. You just kind of get stuck with ideas, which is a fine way to live. It's not a fine way to become a filmmaker, but it's a fine way to like live.
I like knowing that I'm able to think, rather than like, I don't really care about the whole final process. But if I know that I thought about something that maybe somebody else hasn't, it's fucking sick in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I should check out this video. Sorry, I'm still talking. I need to
Should wrap it up.
There's a Jerry Seinfeld and what's his name? Stephen Colbert.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Colbert, they're at like a diner and they're talking, and Colbert tells him Neutral Milk Hotel's lyrics. He's like, I forget what it was. What a something like what a crazy thing it is to feel anything at all. Mm-hmm. That whole line, right? He goes like on this big spout. He's super into it. And Jerry Seinfeld he starts like mocking him and like crying. He's like, "Oh, that's so heartfelt. Oh my god, I can't believe you feel that way." And you just see Stephen Colbert just like shut down. And he's like, "Oh well, fuck you." And it's just like, I don't know. It just reminds me. I don't know. Just like I say, if you're able, because not everybody feels that way about the world, know. But like if you're able to feel artistic and like feel shit like that, it's greatness to it,
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Seinfeld would probably think differently. He probably thinking like this is like pretentious and kind of full of ourselves. But Fuck Seinfeld. So,
Jerry.
I've never
the
actually
fuck outta
thought he
here,
was
Jerry.
that funny, but you know.
he's not. I do like Seinfeld the show.
I've
What
never
is
seen
it? What is it called? The comedy that he does in a way.
Ah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Bad.
There's a name to it.
bad comedy.
Bad.
There's like some
bad
like
comedy.
it's like a section.
Yeah.
I think I saw it in Conan. He was talking to a bunch of kids, and the little girl was all like, "Why is it called softball when the ball's not soft?" And he's like, "This is a great Seinfeld routine."
Yeah.
I was like,
I like the Seinfeld show. I think the show's funny, but it's
I've
not
never
just
seen the show.
Seinfeld. It's
like
like
Larry David and
yeah.
yeah.
that one
do like
little
Larry
short
David.
fuck.
I do like the show. The show's funny.
Show is pretty funny.
I've never seen it. Maybe I'll check it out.
I've seen a couple episodes.
I'll add it to
I
the
can't
list
wait.
of my shows that I need to watch.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we're at 2 hours 40 minutes now.
I know. I need to get to
So-
work.
And I feel like we can.
I know.
Keep going.
I'm always like, this is just gonna be an hour, and we haven't been an hour since like JoJo's episode or Andy's episode or
Yep.
something.
Dude,
I don't
okay,
think we've
I
ever
don't
hit an
know.
hour. I don't know. We're
Dude.
just bad about it.
I don't know how most of y'all, because like this is like personally my first podcast, right? In a way. Like when we do the gaming shit, I can understand why the cuts are there. Because 4 hours of gaming, it's not gonna be like 4 hours of like good footage.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like some boring ass shit midway through there.
Mm-hmm.
But like right here, like this convo, it felt like, but to me personally, it felt like there really isn't any cuts.
Yeah, no.
I guess in a way,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
kind of like just straightforward talk.
Yeah. It's
Even our banter on the side, it's like whatever.
yeah. I mean, this is. I appreciate it. I'll take that as a compliment, Sebas. So.
Yes, sir. We should.
So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. This is awesome. I know, Memo, you have to get ready for work, so thank you
Yeah.
for hanging in there. And I
Energy
like
drinks,
your
man.
I
feel like
like
we should
your
be tired as
penis
fuck.
in the background. That looks kind of cool. Or is that your lighting thing? Is that
Nice
is that
shaft,
penis?
man.
What? What?
Is that a penis? The lighting thing? Is it
My
supposed to be-
penis.
It's his pop figures thingy.
Oh,
Oh,
he
he
left.
left. He's like, fuck.
He
they're
left.
not-
He's like, they saw my-
What?
He was like, my,
It looks
he
like
was like,
it
my
looks like
peen's
a
been
dick
out
in
this
the
whole time.
background.
Oh, you mean like the pop figures?
Yeah.
Oh, is
yeah,
that
yeah.
what it is?
Yeah, those are pop figures.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's because the light.
What's your
yeah,
favorite
it's
one
like
in that whole
looks like a
thing right
penis.
there?
I don't even know what I have.
Oh shit! No,
They were
what a
given
poser.
to me-
What a poser, chat. What a
I
poser.
didn't know you were collecting pop figures.
I don't. Vince gave them to me for free.
Oh,
Yeah, he had a box of them, and he was just like, "You want them?" And I was like,
Doesn't he have like a Yoshi tattoo?
"I could sell them for like $3 a pop."
is that a problem, Sebas? You don't.
No,
like
no, no.
Yoshi
It's just like
tattoo?
it's like who would be on the pop figures if we were to buy one? If he has a Yoshi tattoo on his leg,
Does he even have? Is the Yoshi pop figure there?
I think is it a Yoshi?
My favorite one is Jabba the Hutt.
Nice.
Interesting.
I like
selection.
Warlords.
Okay. Well,
You know,
anyway.
before we finish, I just
Okay.
want to say I really wish I liked Star Wars more.
Oh gosh,
Same.
let's go into
Same.
a whole other thing. Let's.
I really do.
No,
'Cause,
what?
like, look,
Some things. Okay, I can't even like just name an example, but there's some things that happen in the moment where I'm like, oh, I wish I liked that more.
yeah, like it's a cool world, you know. Like I
It
wish there
sounds
was.
fucking sick, man.
I wish there was more. You know, like you have like your adventure stuff and like the bad
Adventure
movies too,
Time.
Uh huh.
you know. But I wish there was like a little bit of for people who like people who have thoughts, you know. You know, like
People that could feel Memo that are artistic.
Yeah. no, like look, Star Wars. I've heard people try to sell it to me as like it's like this great story and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess it is, and that the fact that it like steals a lot from other great stories, you know. But like, I wish there was like somebody took a risk
Mm-hmm.
and like made something in the Star Wars universe. They could just be like on, I don't know, whatever, Disney Plus or something. No. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a cool world. They just keep on making bad movies.
It's true.
Or a rehash of the same shit.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I can only see Chewbacca dying and not dying so many times, dude. I hated that last movie, bro. The movie was trash.
Well,
Sorry, that's the 48 movie. I don't know what I'm going on with Star
This
Wars.
is for idiots in a movie.
I do like Jabba the Hutt though. He's cool.
What?
we should be doing it for it's in a movie soon. When I get done to
I was about to say, I
podcast
was like, what's
before
happening?
another for it's in a
I-
movie.
I don't
gets
have a
done.
topic.
Okay.
There's
Well,
nothing
Well,
coming out.
If
We
it's
were talking
if it's
about
early
Armie Hammer.
morning, if it's early
Armie Hammer.
morning, early year, isn't there kind of like a stigma with movies that happen early in the year?
Yeah, they suck.
yeah, they
They
yeah,
usually-
That it's usually like the dumping ground for most companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it usually is.
So like to make a top 5 list, top 5 movie dumps.
All this year has been movie dumps for the most part.
Basically.
You know, like I mean, all the good. Well, granted, the good movies that came out were indie movies,
Mm-hmm.
like
Lighthouse,
Possessor or
We should do.
The
Everyone pick
Lighthouse.
5 movies, top 5
Let me
movies
see.
of the year, or top 3 movies of the year, and then like everyone just pick 3, and then that's it.
Dude, that's the thing though with movies. Like I don't even think I really watch shit that's like now. My top 3, number 1 would have to be The Croods New Age, bro. I actually really fuck with that movie.
Cruise.
Put me on some
Nah.
shit. Send me
I didn't
something.
say. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
No,
No, I
it's
know.
I have to
it's 'cause-
say it.
saying things about
Croods?
the same thing about like with movies and stuff. There's 2 different types of people with movies. There's the ones that are like, oh, it's a good flick, right? And then there's the people that like Memo are in the Criterion Collection kind of thing. You know? And
I'm very
I don't
well
like
aware.
I don't like how I don't like having
called-
conversations with both
Calls you
types
a
of people.
film snob, Memo. He called you a
Yeah.
film snob.
Fucking schnob with an H in there.
Sebas likes films though.
I do like
Films.
movies.
He calls them films.
Films.
He doesn't
Like,
call them
you said-
movies. He calls them
you
films.
He likes his good dose of cinema.
If I see a camera angle and I'm like, oh, the way they film it. Like, the one I could think of in my head, on the top of my head, iRobot. Some way they, like, whenever, like, the character... Is it iRobot? It's iRobot, right?
Yeah,
With-
I
with
guess. I don't know.
With Rami Malek? No, it's not a movie, it's a show.
That's-
No,
that's
Mr.
Mr.
Robot.
Mr. Robot, what the fuck?
iRobot's a Will Smith movie.
Yeah, that's the Will Smith movie.
Oh, shit. No,
Yeah.
whatever. But, like, whenever, like, a main character would be, like, in the side of the camera rather than the whole front of it. I don't know, in my head, it's like, well, not many things do that, so it looks kind of sick. It doesn't, like,
Yeah.
look too bad. But, like, Memo would probably think, like, oh, that's, like...
Like, that came out of
Actually,
raw.
Yeah, it's like some other shit, you know?
Yeah.
But shit looks
Yeah,
cool sometimes,
I-
man.
No, I will say I was more snobbish when I was younger.
I'll
tell me about
say.
it.
Now I realize how difficult it is to make a movie, and you know, I don't know, but I get what you're saying. But no, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't think
fucking know, man.
I don't think I'm that snobbish with movies. I just like
Not
what I like.
anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, it's like
Not
mostly.
anymore.
I just like what I like.
No, it's like whenever Memo comes to me and like tells me something that he likes, I'm listening because it's just like his opinion, and it's mostly about things shit that I don't know or I haven't seen. So it's like, oh, that sounds cool as fuck, or I don't really care. Like it's boring.
Yeah,
But either way, man.
I will say, see, I'm snobbish with movies. You're snobbish with music.
Oh, fuck yeah, I am.
You know, like how many like 17-year-olds, you know, who listen to the Doors
Dude, I don't.
without their dads being the ones that listen to the Doors.
Okay, like I don't, but I remember I was hanging out with Sandra one time, and we were just in the street, like just walking and talking, and we heard like in the neighborhood somebody was playing Red Days on the Storm, like out loud on a speaker, and I was
Yeah.
like sick. And then the next song was like Light My Fire. I mean, it was a bunch of basic songs, but it was like whatever. It was so cool as fuck.
Basic songs. It's like, yo, you ever seen Samurai from Akira Kurosawa? Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa? The
No.
basic movies.
Like, it's kind of hard to say that all their songs are not basic, because I mean, it was a pretty short-lived career, right? For the most part.
So
like
that
4
makes it
years.
basic?
I don't know
No.
much about the Doors.
Yeah, I don't know
No.
anything about the Doors.
I don't know, basic. It just to me right now, it feels like I know mostly all the stuff. With Jim Morrison, I haven't
Yeah.
really heard the 2 albums post his death. I've heard a couple songs like "Varieties," "The Spice of Life," and that one sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, you know, I don't know.
All right, we gotta end this because I gotta go to work.
Yeah, no, okay, so this is
I gotta take a shower.
there's going to be an odd cut somewhere because my computer messed up. But thank you,
Yes.
Sebas, for coming on. I know
It was a blast.
this has been a real long one, but yeah,
It was a
we'll
blast.
do
My
this
back's
again
hurting. I
sometime.
love it.
Okay, guys? Thanks for coming
Yep.
on. Okay, bye.
Thank you guys.
Later.